All right, well, everybody's here, pretty much exactly on time. If you guys are all ready to get started, we can do exactly that.
Absolutely.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So last time we played, party tracked down and boarded the Seegson ship in orbit over Socorro and engaged in a close quarters corridor sweep against the crew, during which team members Jessica Maitland and one of Albert's officers, Antonin Shipanov, were both used as human shields by both Conrad and El Presidente, who himself was used as a human shield by Conrad.
It was a conga line of human shields.
Um, So, and then Albert took a gun was dropped and he got shot in the foot, but it's not like a permanent injury. Um,
It hurts
and
the pride more than it hurts the
yeah.
body.
So the Seegson executives Sierra Camden, Captain Andrew Dow, and a generic uncredited mercenary extra were all taken prisoner, and their ship was seized. After returning to Terra Nova, a time skip occurred in which the entire party received emails from various political and corporate figures, which, speaking of Albert, or Magus rather, you have if you look in the campaign handouts, there's emails cycle 1, and you should have an email there that you can read. But I did send it to you in DMs. I don't know if you read it, but
yeah, I looked over it. Let me reread
okay.
it.
Well, while you're doing that, but yeah, so there was, like I was saying, people got various emails with some of the major developments, including a team of paleontologists piggybacking on the 10th pilgrimage, and additional personnel and resources joining the new colonists. The session ended with a second council meeting, during which the colony reached its second tier development, and some new initiatives were put into effect, including an upgraded research lab, a PA system for El Presidente to broadcast his speeches and propaganda, and a new policy emphasizing further scientific advancements. So,
Is like, what are the benefits? Like, I guess, like, do we have an objective that we have to raise the colony development level to some reason? Like, I'm wondering, just like, what's the purpose of doing it?
in game terms, it's just kind of I mean, there's not really like an end goal. I mean, I guess if you consider like fully making the colony self-sufficient, um, which is I think like tier 6, um, it's not like you have to fully upgrade it by the end of the game. It's just one of those things like as you upgrade it, you get benefits from that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like, what are the benefits that we would get from it?
Well, things like the installations, for example, and the installations can actually give you like bonuses to do stuff at the colony, or give you abilities like manufacturing replacement vehicles and weapons, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like if in the installations list for your colony
Yeah, we need
initiatives,
our own weapons industry.
yeah.
Oh God.
We're starting off with the basics, and then we're gonna get into bigger and better
Arms dealing, yeah.
manufacturing.
Oh Jesus.
The arms dealing comes later.
Yeah, first the sheeple. We need to have somebody to arm, of course.
Exactly. Hey, this guy gets it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you could get a pharmacology lab so you can synthesize drugs. Which I'm sure El Presidente, there's like a cash register sound in his head when he hears that.
Yeah. You know, in most cases, the problem would be selling them.
Most cases?
So,
Yeah.
Meaning?
Well, meaning, don't worry about it.
I mean, if
Lovely.
people
Meaning
go down
he's going to manufacture weapons and then sell them to his own colony.
Yeah, we have sort of a. I mean, the nice thing about being the administrator, we kind of have I guess you could say a captive audience.
Dear Lord.
oh no.
Oh my God.
So anyway, let me go to my little checklist in group notes.
So sorry, I think I if we could just get a summary, because like I know that we raided the ship that the Seegson representative was on. Like,
Yeah.
can you summarize that event?
Well, like, I mean, that was part of the recap that I gave at the start, but just to run over that again.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
Well, basically, the nutshell of that was that, you know, the party. I mean, they boarded the ship. I mean, they were able, like, shockingly, El Presidente, with help from Danny, were like the two of them were able to convince the captain to just let them dock. You know, because they had Carter's ID, and they just said like, oh well, it's Carter. I stole one of their ships. So the party boarded the ship, but the thing is that because Richard was doing like a data tap in the mother core, they kind of caught on to the fact that it was a ruse. So there was brief combat. Nobody died, but several people got injured. And the Seegson exec, the captain of the ship, and then just a random mercenary were taken prisoner. And then Richard, because he cracked into the mother core, like the captain was trying to do a purge of the data banks, but he still got enough incriminating information to use against Seegson.
Okay,
Conrad
cool.
used our medic as a human shield.
Well, he used more than just the medic as a human shield.
Oh, the medic was the first human shield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
the
was the
session.
first
And
human
then-
shield,
Then he
That was
tried
a
using
test
me
run.
as a human shield.
and then you used
And
one of
I-
Albert's officers as a human shield.
In self-defense, had to put the colony's best interests first.
Which is exactly what I did. I mean, the first thing for the medic, it makes completely sense. They are there to save our lives. She did that. She saved my life. So, in a way, she did a job exquisitely by letting me do my
Well,
thing.
she almost got one shot by a shotgun,
Yeah.
Conrad believed in her.
and she can't save your lives if you're dead or if she's dead. So, anyway,
Well, she didn't die, and she saved his life.
anyway,
That was the risk Conrad was willing to take.
so of course
That
it was.
doesn't help the situation.
So,
Just digging the hole deeper, bro.
so my first question is, before I reveal the colony event, which as a reminder, or the colony incident, I did roll for that. Is there anything you guys want to do before that? Because we are going to be doing like a little bit of jumping around time-wise. But
Yes. So I had a couple questions. So what happened? So we captured the crew. We captured Camden, who was the Seegson rep. Did we just hand them over to Wayland, or are
that
they
has
like
not been
prison?
determined. I mean, for the time being, they're your prisoners.
Okay.
I
But
think the plan is to hand them over, though. That seems to be the best course of action, all things considered.
Yeah,
They're worth
it'll
more.
look great on the report for Wayland. They'll be happy to have official evidence for persecution, etc. It
Yeah.
would look very good for us as a whole.
yeah, it
Terra
looks
Nova.
better for you, and it also gives the company more options with how to deal with the prisoners.
Okay. So I guess we'll discuss that in this session. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's not going to be like the focus, but I'm just asking, like, if that's something you guys want to do, this would probably be the best time to do it.
Throw them off a building.
As tempting as that may be, our superiors with Mr. Ashby and the further unnamed likes would probably like to have them in one a non-jam colored piece. So, I mean, we could
That doesn't
try
mean
to
that they don't have to be.
what?
Can't
don't have
be
to
in
be what?
they can be multiple pieces.
Yeah, I was thinking the Star Wars Rebel quote, as pretty as you are, I only need you alive. That doesn't mean in one piece.
Oh, oh damn. Well, fingers and souvenirs. I mean, okay, if we
Jesus.
want to go down that route so soon, but I mean, we could interrogate them if we want some information before
Well,
we proceed.
I did say before, or it might have been through the emails, but like in general, as I've said before, if there's any kind of questions you want to ask these people, it's generally ideal to ask them, like write them up in advance.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't know if I can give really meaningful answers, and also the fact that like I mean, I'll just streamline the process and say like anything that you would want to ask them would probably already be on record.
Yeah.
And you would have you can have a copy of those records for like archival reference purposes. Like basically if you're wanting to know like what their orders were, any sort of information on Flash, like in terms of like their half of the information on it, that kind of thing, like that sort of info you already have.
So everything is expected, basically, from what we've previously gathered. Nothing
Yeah, like
new, hidden, revelationary would be to find out if we ask them all.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like there's nothing I can conceive of that they would be able to tell you that wouldn't already be in the files, and similarly, if they tried to lie, then there would be no point because everything's already there.
Yeah, makes sense. We've gotten already quite enough information out of that.
Okay.
So the only question that I would have is, based on all the data that we received, based on our interrogations of them, do we think that sort of what they were doing in our colony was a one-off, or do we think that there's like a larger, this is part of like a larger play by Seegson
Oh,
to try
like
to
to
influence the colony?
well to influence multiple colonies or just to
Just like an ongoing threat to us. Like, is this they just picked us? Hey, we're going to use them as the lab rats for testing this
pretty
thing, or is
much.
this like okay?
Yeah. Like like part of the doctrine, like that's an easy question to answer, is that they were starting small because like one isolated incident in one colony is a lot easier to kind of snuff out than like the same thing happening in multiple colonies.
Okay. Okay, then I don't think we need to spend much more time on this. At least from my perspective, we can maybe move on.
Okay. So with that in mind, I will reveal the colony incident, which this one pretty much like this is the first result I rolled and it tracks perfectly for all the stuff that's going on.
Boy.
A failure somewhere has led to a lack of key supplies and spares for the colony. Systems that are broken down and people can't do their jobs. And the end result of that is basically here's how this happens. So El Presidente has his own secret construction project, and then there's all the new construction projects in the in terms of the colony development rules, and then eventually there comes a point where Danny is notified, and then she in turn relays the news to El Presidente that the colony kind of overextended itself in terms of like production capabilities. Like it's something that was able to be finished, but it definitely kind of came at a cost. So I'm going to
maybe regular maintenance was disregarded to keep everything running as long as possible, and this is the consequence.
Yeah, like basically it was the kind of thing like what?
I said up against the wall.
Yep. So I will adjust the stats accordingly. So let's see. So maintenance goes down from 6 to 4. Productivity is 4 to 3, and then economy is 5 to 4. So you haven't dropped below the second tier, but you are just like barely above it. So
Oof. Yeah, then that was quite a bad result. A lot of
yeah.
minuses there. Yeah, Conrad is just like confused, like what's happening with the resources, especially because he does have faith in Danny and her ability. So he's like, where's all the construction
what she
material? Why is
says,
the maintenance
let me ask El Presidente this. You said with your personal construction project that you were keeping that off the books and had like a
yes.
private team of contractors. Okay. She when she's talking to Conrad, she says like I don't know, director. It just doesn't add up. She genuinely doesn't know and is looking over the reports. It's like I mean I don't know of any other construction projects or any other anything. And then meanwhile, Presidente probably just walks by whistling.
So Arturo hasn't discussed this project with like none of us have in-game knowledge of this, right?
No.
Nobody
has any idea what he's doing.
Yeah. We don't know that anything even exists. We just know that he's just not here all the time, which is kind of typical for a high up position. They do.
Well, he just gives the excuse I'm actually Batman. I'm the mysterious Batman of Terra Nova.
And since we know Presidente, we actually might even believe that he's having some mental breakdown and he just needs time alone.
So
So I'm wondering, like, obviously we have out of game knowledge here, but I'm wondering, like, if in game we would do a more in depth investigation here to try to figure out what went wrong.
I mean, in
Like,
this case, it's
obviously we
like
know it's a game mechanic that this event happened, right? But I think, in game, like in real world, they probably would investigate. Like it says a failure somewhere. Like I think you would investigate what that failure was, right?
yeah. So I mean, if that is something you guys want to investigate, it's definitely not going to be an easy solution, or at least potentially. But hold on, hold on. I just need to answer this message, which I'm sure it's nobody's surprised that I just got one. But
I mean, yeah, we can.
I
Yeah, we
mean,
can
I
officially,
Yeah,
I
like-
didn't say what it was.
I mean,
Of
yeah,
course
but
not.
the point is that nobody knows anything is going on.
Well, but do
you
you
know?
remember the conversation we had
If
at the start of the game? Separation of player knowledge and character knowledge. So
I mean, yeah, but like, it's
I'm totally fine with. I mean, from Conrad's perspective, he doesn't know what's
I mean,
happening. And yeah, he
if
would
I've
order
upset you, I'm
kind of
sorry, and I mean
investigation.
that genuinely. I wasn't trying to cause problems.
it's cool. I mean,
Yeah,
can't
but
be
we can.
undone at this point anyway. So
So we're still cool.
yeah,
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I am very much keeping a stiff upper lip as to the specifics of it, but like it is kind of relevant right now because that was like the result we got for the colony development rules. Like the colony overextended itself with special projects, and the problem is that like the stuff that was discussed in the council meeting is on record, but the thing is that the colony budget and resources have been strained elsewhere. So that's like there is reason for it to be relevant. But again, I mean, I'm not going to divulge what it is. But as for the question of like, can it be investigated? Let me just double check the message. So I'm trying. Hold on. I'm gonna text you a response back. Because again, I don't want to fuck up again.
Personally, from a like in-game perspective, Conrad would just ask for people to investigate inside the colony, like where the funds are going on a kind of normal investigative process basis, but he doesn't expect
Okay,
anything
so
detailed to be found.
So I will say this, quoting what I just got in explicitly. So as a little bit of an amendment to what I said, there is actually like a mention of a construction project, but it is, I mean, it's something officially being done, but it's a private project by outside contractors. So it's not just like a mysterious like void in the budget. Like there is something there, but the specifics of it have been withheld. And like and the thing is that Danny has that on record. It's just that she doesn't have the like clearance to know what it is.
Doesn't have the specifics.
Yeah, like she's aware that it's going on, and like I said, I mean, I will retcon to where she would say that. But again, she doesn't know what's going on, and none of the characters will know what's going on, so I'm going to just leave it at that.
Okay, yeah, then for now, it would make sense that it's a concern in the sense that it has brought some negatives in game for like the colony, but at the same time, since it's all there and officially known that there's a reason for it, it's like, okay, well, resources needed to be spent for whatever is happening, and if it's for now special kind of private project, since we're already building the other what was our installation stuff, he just kind of suspects that it's all connected to that and just has no reason to look further into it at this point. Doesn't really suspect anything special there.
Are we based on the events this event, are we going to have like a council meeting to review? Because there is some stuff I'd like to bring up in there.
Well, there will be another council meeting. It's just that it has a regularly scheduled interval.
Okay.
You can call in if you have something for security reasons or something, if you think.
Yes,
We'll
I
call
would
it a
like
night.
to bring up a security issue if we can.
Like,
But
I mean,
we can do something else first.
you don't have to have a council meeting. You can just schedule an appointment with, like, to talk to El Presidente.
Well, I think it would be something we'd have to vote on. I don't know if there's a mechanic in the game for this, but yeah.
We can just normally do it if.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do any
Cody
kind of
wants.
mechanic. It's like if you voice this to El Presidente and you guys want to get the council together to discuss an important matter, you can.
Yes, I would like to call a meeting
Okay.
if possible.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and do that. And so I'll have like a little presentation that I'm doing here.
Okay, I'll switch this
And
over
we
to
can
this
assume
map
that it's
for thematic purposes.
yes, and we can assume it's very fancy. I don't actually have anything prepared, but we can assume
Right,
it's very
but
fancy.
yeah, I get you.
But essentially, what I'm proposing to the group here is I'm raising my concerns about, we've had the last several months, we've had multiple security breaches into the colony. We obviously had mercenary attacks on our facilities. We then had these drug, the Seegsons using us as a test lab and smuggling personnel and materials through our security screens. And this has left me very concerned that our security policies and our security measures are woefully insignificant to secure the colony. So what I'd like to propose is a small tax on like I'm trying to think of the exact word, like basically like a small tax that we can put onto the spaceport for trade into the spaceport that we can use to fund enhanced security measures. So some of the things I'm thinking about are improved like biometric scanners for people that like come into the colony. So instead of just like having like a picture ID or something like that, we actually have like DNA and fingerprints and stuff like that. I'm also thinking we have the existing, I think we ordered like a missile defense system. What I'd like to do is to see if we can maybe construct some like some cheap satellites that are like give us greater like scanning and visibility into what's going on in the solar system. We just had this Seegson ship that was hanging out in our solar system and we had no idea. Like that could happen again in the future. And just things of that nature. So just similar measures to sort of strengthen our security, improve our awareness of what's going on in the solar system so that no one can come in. And so obviously that will cost a lot of money. And so I think like in the game, in terms of the mechanics of the game, we could say like maybe it takes one off the economy or something like that. I don't know if there's like a council rule that we can vote on, but essentially to increase the security of the colony, we would need to raise some money for that.
So first of all, I want to ask if, I mean, even not necessarily the second, but if you can list out all the stuff you want to do, just so I can reference that and kind of figure out how to proceed there. So that's one thing. That is something like El Presidente, like, so with the colony budget right now, like that is something you can do, but you are still going to have to bring it to the attention of Sector Administrator Ashby, just so he knows what's going on and can
Right.
approve or reject it if he views it as a bit much. I mean, if you make a good enough argument for it, then I'm sure he'll allow it. It's just that, like I said, you are obligated to at least let the company know what you're doing in case, and potentially also the U.S. government in case what you're doing violates any laws from either organization.
Yes, we need full reports of all of the
Like it needs
details.
to be on
If
record
we
what
ever
you're
want.
doing.
Yes, I will prepare a formal report for our overseers at Wayland headquarters. What I'm looking more for is that we can say that everyone on our council has agreed that this is necessary. If I have that when I go to Ashby, I think he'll sign on, or I think he'll sign off on it without too much second thought.
So you have the full the
Hmm.
full like approval of the NPCs because Danny, Sky, and Jace all I mean there's a reason they were so popular, and it's because they have the full they have the best interests of their departments and the colony as a whole in mind, and they're beloved for that reason. So they nod in vigorous agreement. So basically, it just kind of falls on El Presidente, Conrad, and Simone.
What do you guys think?
Well, as somebody who is has the responsibility of looking into our bank account for all intents and purposes, our economy right now, especially right now, is stretched a bit thin. It's going well, but Albert, I completely commend the ideas. I think that they are well intentioned. I am just concerned that right now is maybe not the best time. If you let me elaborate, we've had issues, as we've all seen when we came with the previous administration, where they were pushing the workers too far so that we could have good enough productivity. The issue is that we have just barely gotten our economy stable enough again without jeopardizing our workforce. And with these falters with our economy, I would be very, very risk averse to let it drop even further, because I've already gotten a very stern email from Mr. Ashby that if anything jeopardizes the profits of this colony, that anybody and everybody here can be replaced. That is what is concerning to me. I do mostly agree about, especially about the satellite. That would be fantastic, though. That would be the most expensive part there. Regarding the spaceport, I mean, we already have very thorough checks there. The issue was that all of this happened before we came in, and I would hedge a bet that it's because of the lax attitude of the previous administration that things fell in so through. We have been basically all these months cleaning up the mess that they have made. So since we are now here and everything of the previous administration, I believe, has been dealt with, I think we shall be having a lot less issues there. If we would tax our imports and exports even more, again, that would be very risky economy-wise. But I would love to get up a satellite. And out of game, I'm looking I think in the installations, is there one maybe installation where we have like a satellite thing? I'm looking that up. That would be interesting. But kind of in game, he would propose that maybe we can start on it to build it up slowly and taking out the funds very kind of bit by bit
I mean, there
instead
is
of just
whatchamacallit, like an event where a colony satellite can be destroyed. Like it's definitely assumed that you have some sort of satellite, because obviously you need some sort of long distance way to like receive and transmit signals, across settled space. So you do have
Hmm.
at least some sort of satellite technology.
or I'm looking. Maybe it's a project as well. There's something in my mind that I remember. Maybe orbital mapping. I'm looking,
Maybe
but
it's just like a basic relay that we have now.
Well, this would be more for the solar system, not for the planet itself. Like, I'm more concerned about like ships, especially like a ship coming in and maybe landing on the other side of the planet, and us not knowing, or hanging out in the solar system, like this one that we just captured was. So this is
Yeah.
more like long range, like radar or something like that, scanning the
Okay.
solar system.
maybe just spitballing here. It would be an idea to, if not a satellite, maybe we need to see what would be more expensive, but maybe maybe not an orbital satellite, but maybe just an on ground on one of our moons, on one of the far sides, so we can scan uh, the rest of the solar system without the interference of atmospheres if we have one of the airless moons.
I'm Conrad. That's a good idea. I'm not particular on the details of the system. My main concern is that what is the effective coverage of it? If it's on the planet, then obviously you can only scan a small section of the sky. My thought of it being a satellite is that it would be relatively easy to maintain by going into orbit, and it would also have a wide viewing space. We would only need a few satellites to cover the entire orbit, or the entire uh, section around the planet.
Yes, a satellite of that type, an outward-facing satellite would be well. But I think that if we try to hastily build this now, or order one pre-made and stuff, it would be too big of a hit on the economy. My vote would be to maybe wait for the next cycle, so that when we have more funds, we can do this. I am a bit apprehensive to do it right now. I agree that security is our top priority, and because of the events that happened, we are all a bit jumpy. But at the same time, I have faith in you and your department that you are more than enough capable to help us fend off any new troubles that might come until we have enough margin of funds to be certain that we can do such a project without impacting our productivity and the well-being of all of the citizens here. Because I would hate that I have to get another mail from Ashby, and that through him it would come orders of increasing work hours or cutting wages or something. That is what I'm genuinely concerned about.
So I will be receptive to that idea, and I'll sort of look around to the rest of the council members and say, how do the rest of you feel? Do you feel like this is an investment we need to make now, or one that we have to delay in order to afford it?
Before I answer, Cody, have I gotten a response from Gutierrez on my message that I sent?
Hold on, let me just if it's the one I'm thinking of, no. Not yet. Let me just double check. And yeah,
Oh,
the
I
one that
can.
you sent on the 6th, like the last, like week ago.
Yeah.
No, because you sent that like basically just at the end of the session. And like I said, like it's only been a few weeks, so
Okay.
you're
I rolled for it though and was pretty successful.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely got what you
Yeah.
want, which that does remind me, and I'll put it in text. That's something I was going to do. Like, I don't feel like it was necessarily being abused and nobody's in trouble for it, but going forward, like if you guys are going to try doing a roll on somebody like Ashby or Gutierrez, like from this point on, I'm going to rule out pushing, because the thing I realized is like,
Yeah.
because like, so the whole thing with pushing is it gives you stress, and that can potentially screw you over in like in a dangerous situation. If you're just sitting in your office, and especially if there are time skips, like that stress isn't going to matter. So I think I'm going to just kind of keep it to just one roll.
I mean, this probably comes as no surprise, but I'm not too fond of that. That's kind of.
Well, then what's the
I mean,
penalty for? Like there's a risk reward to pushing. So what's the risk? I mean, if you can answer that, then we'll continue with pushing as is. But
fucking up later, or in the same kind of
so
general time span.
So you're saying like if you get like a panic, then it's sort of like an equivalent of like a despair being banked.
Oh,
Yeah, we could do that. I think
Okay.
that's a pretty
All
good
right. If you
idea.
guys all agree with that, then
So on
Fine
the
with me.
on the colony development rolls,
makes
we're
sense.
rolling multiple times, right?
yeah, with the colony development for like the different attributes, every time there's a full council meeting, to develop the colony.
Everyone rolls.
Yeah, so there are six stats, 6 people roll. El Presidente is a wild card who could roll any of them with command if he so chose. But you're generally doing one roll though, there is, because you got that AI core, like you can push one of those rolls.
So so we only push one of them.
Yeah, like for example, if you fail the like economy stat, then you really need to get that up, you can push that, but that does mean that, like for example, if somebody fucks up spirit, you cannot push that.
Okay.
At least relative
Yeah, I
to
mean,
that particular session.
we
So.
could track stress from doing that over time and have some kind of negative tied if you like roll a 1 on the stress die or whatever the thing is. That's the only thing
Okay.
I could really think of.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, if all of you are fine with that, then I'll allow pushing. I mean, I was just mainly thinking of it like I'm okay with the idea of pushing as long as there's some sort of actual consequence. And the thing is, like, as it stands, like with basically people just getting stress and then just instantly losing that stress. But you did raise a point that
Maybe we could say you can push, um, but maybe pushing gives you a negative on a different roll or something for that session.
or maybe pushing like gives you a penalty for the next time you reach out.
I would
Like,
say, what if
seen,
we
like,
just
pushing into
stretch
Mandy?
out stress to be like a longer thing? Since we are doing so many time skips, maybe instead of, getting your stress back if you chill out for a couple hours, it's like something that takes maybe, I don't know, like a few days or like a week or something to really kind of cool down from something.
I mean, that kind of breaks though if we have combat, right? Because then you have like a stress that's longer term and a stress that's shorter term. I think if we're gonna track it, it should be tracked to something at the colony level. Something else I thought of is like maybe pushing increases the severity of the random events, like
Or
because
have a colony stress level.
yeah, like have like a
Oh.
colony stress level, and like pushing these rolls increases that, which like maybe increases the chances of something bad happening with the random events. Because like are the random events like the critical injuries where basically just a higher number is worse?
Yeah,
Almost always.
the higher you go, the worse. Like the lowest event is like good things can actually happen to you. The worst, like the absolute worst event is somebody on the command team, or rather an NPC on the command team dies.
So yeah, so what if we can push, but pushing adds some amount to those rolls?
Like adds a +1 to that result.
Some kind of thing like that. Like I don't know what would be fair because I don't know the colony stress the table, like how that mechanic works exactly.
Well, I mean, basically, let me do this because I keep
How big is
meandering.
the table again?
I think it's another like a D66 table, but I will pull that up. Let's see. So
yeah, because I
Is
think
this
you
something
would
we have to figure out now? Could we do this like maybe
yeah, no, we can figure it out.
after?
I just wanted to bring up the topic now. So if you guys want to, like I said, we definitely have some stuff to discuss, like in terms of like again the security measures. Like Albert, if you want to do the stuff you were talking about, please do me a favor and list those out at some point so I can
Yeah.
put some thought in that. And then of course the rules on like stress long term and how that affects the colony, yada yada yada. Like we'll hash that out later. I just wanted to bring that up just because I forgot to do that last night. So okay,
This
anyway.
definitely gives us time to kind of mull it over.
Oh yeah, like and I don't anticipate anybody making any. I mean, like even if anybody did make any messages or requests for Ashby or Gutierrez, like even if you push that, push those rolls, which again I'm fine with that doing, like you doing that, but that stress is getting banked, and we'll have to figure out what to do with it. But anyway, moving on. So where were we before that came up? Oh, El Presidente, you were saying what you reached out to Gutierrez for?
Yeah, so being pretty confident that that's going to go the way I planned, I'll sort of reveal that. Well, I reached out to the sector governor, and I'm extremely confident that my requests will be approved. And basically, what I asked for was quite a few things, truly. So more equipment, mining equipment, especially.
Which is going
And
to boost
some,
your economy or product. Well, probably not productivity, but your economy, I'm sure.
yeah. And additional to that, heavy subsidies for sales of our resources as well. So that should maybe make up for if we do decide to overextend somewhat and carry out a project of this size.
Hmm. Do you
Put that to mute.
believe that such a thing would happen on? Do you believe that those resources would be coming along with missile defenses you've also asked for?
Yeah, the missile defenses were requested from Ashby, so completely
Yes.
different request.
Yeah, like
Yes, but
he got the attack helicopter and the missile battery and the technicians to install it. That was a request made to Ashby like a few sessions ago.
oh yes. I remember you said you were going to try
And
and
memories.
get from your government representative. Well, way to go, Mr. President. Hey, that would be very. That can be very good regarding those things. Oof. Okay, I mean, if you think that security reason warrants
Hold on, I'm getting
such
a
a
call.
satellite, then I could try and approve such a thing and do my best to get this across to Mr. Ashby.
Are you saying that in reference to Albert's proposition?
Yeah, to Albert's expensive satellite, but he's basically banking on that these resources that come will make up for the economy and everything.
Yeah, and especially if you get, if you have proof, like especially if Colonial Governor Gutierrez, like if she, well, when realistically she writes back El Presidente, then you can probably just forward that email to Ashby as like proof of the fact that Gutierrez is sending additional stuff to help El Presidente and well, the colony, obviously, but like you can
That'll be good.
you can send that information to him, and that'll make him much more likely to accept it. It's like, okay, well, the Americans are already sending stuff in to boost the economy, so that won't really hurt us.
Yes. Yeah, Conrad will definitely in the report write up that we have the additional kind of resources to help out with that as a prerequisite when asking for approval with Mr. Ashby. But basically, so apprehensively, Conrad is like, yeah, I will vote to accept such a proposal and further it forward to Ashby if this really goes through, kind of. So basically he has like in game you can imagine the little kind of in the corner of a screen wording like Conrad will remember this. If this does not turn out well in the sense that resources get fucked up again, oh, you'll all have such pain in requesting further resources from Ashby because
If
he's already got chewed
if
out.
I may make a temporary suggestion, since our
Yes.
security advisor wants to have stricter security, since I can essentially interface with
Hmm.
Mother or the details exactly, I can basically scan the individuals coming in. Till
Well, that's a lot of responsibility for an individual to do, but
I mean, it's just temporary till you get it up and going.
yes, that's a very good idea. Thank you.
Well, when you say scanning, first of all, that brings up a couple of questions from me. The first one is, as I said, just keep in mind that you guys being like overly cautious kind of inhibits my long-term, at least not necessarily plans as much as potential to potentially have like infiltrators try to get in the colony. I mean, because if you lock it down and nobody gets through, then guess what? We're not going to have a plot. So be a
Well, we
little
are
more
bringing in a lot of people.
right. Well, I'm just saying that
And
if Richard, if it, like even if it's not Richard specifically going, I want to inspect every single new arrival, then somebody or a group of people are doing that, and that might be an issue.
Yeah, so for the plot's sake, basically, kind of in character, Conrad is basically about that kind of bioscanner. He's basically going. He thinks that's a bit too much in the sense that our scanning through is already okay enough. And when he went to the spaceport and talked to everyone, it seems they are doing an okay enough job. He kind of says that he believes it was the higher ups that made them kind of turn a blind eye and focus on other things. So he thinks that would basically be like airport security. If you go too tight on it, then people will be pissed. We'll have a
Yeah.
lot of complaints, and yeah, he doesn't want to aggravate that. He says, let's better start with the satellite for wider
Because
security.
I do want to
Our
bring up
internal things.
also 2 points of worth consideration. Number one is similar to the thing with Flash and like they're doing the drug test that we discussed is like depending on what you want to do, it may also bring about penalties to things like spirit and productivity. And then
Yeah.
also the other thing to consider is that whatchamacallit, so the ninth pilgrimage that you arrived on was also where Carter was brought in on, and you have to remember that the reason Carter and his team slipped through the cracks was likely because of all the bullshit with the like it seemed like an opportune time to do so with the incompetent administration, with Croft and Jones and all that. Like it was the perfect time for them to get through. So if they have reasons to suspect the colony is more secure, then they're not going to like it reduces the risk, doesn't completely eliminate the risk, but it reduces the risk that they're going to be more saboteurs, at least in a larger operation.
So Cody, I will follow up with you on the exact details of what makes sense
Of course.
in terms of like the game to do that leaves you opportunities to do stuff.
Sure.
So
Appreciate that.
yeah, and obviously like human error, like we can always come up with ways that people evade things.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I think the best thing, the most like reasonable thing that we could do is maybe just look at the protocols for like what we do to make sure that the person, that shows up piloting a ship or whatever is who they say they are. Maybe instead of just like getting their name or whatever, we scan an ID and
Well, yeah, I mean, that should be the base. That's what they are already allegedly doing in the sense. It's not just anybody who comes on and says, yeah, hi, and that's
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
there are
Yeah, I
papers
think
and documents and ID. Everything is checked and vetted through before.
if I remember correctly, I think the way that they snuck on the colony before is like didn't someone like hack in to the system and like put them in the system or like replace them?
Yeah, I was going to say that basically the way all of Carter's people got in was like there was some bribery, some tampering with some records, and then Carter and his team being given false identities that checked out in the system even though they didn't match like the actual identity of the person.
Yeah, so like things like that could always happen, right? Like if the
Yeah.
system, if so, there's always opportunities.
And
But
keep
anyway,
in mind, yeah, just one last comment I'll make before we move on is that also, and again going back to what I said about like now that you exposed the activities of Seegson, and now that you know how, I mean, courtesy of Carter's confession, like how they got on or like got to Terra Nova, that reduces the risk of it happening again. So
right.
Anyway,
So
so
I will follow up with the exact details of what I'm proposing afterwards, and we can
sure.
negotiate that.
Sounds good.
What I'll say in character is, again, I'm open to the idea of delaying it if Conrad feels that it's if this group feels that it's the best thing for our economy. But I just like everyone's opinion.
So, well, like I said, Sky, Danny, and Jace agree with you because what you're saying makes complete sense to them. So it's just up to the other PCs.
So Simone, I don't think we've heard from you.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt anyone. I agree that long term this would be a good investment, but in the short term we would need to probably wait till like the next cycle or the one after to, start getting the funds for the satellite, just so we don't like drag down the economy more. And because I think once, like, you know, in game terms, if those numbers drop any lower, we're gonna start having big problems. Besides just like sliding back into like the last like colony tier. Like
Oh
people are
yeah, I
gonna get
forgot even that.
pissed off and upset and
Yes, that's a good point. I do agree with you and Conrad that we must
yep.
maintain our profitability for our Wayland benevolent overlords. Um, so how about this?
Yeah, come on.
I will agree that we can delay this to the next cycle. That will give me time to plan and get approval from what's his name, Ashby,
Yeah.
in a formal way. But to replace that, I do feel if we're going to wait, I want to be able to move very quickly once we do have the funds available. So I'm going to request that you give me control over allocating that money so that I can, efficiently award the contracts and get things done the right way, more efficiently.
Now, when you say get
Hmm.
with that money, are you referring to like, well, what are you referring to?
Well, I'm just referring to like there's going to be a number of different things we're going to spend it on, right?
Okay.
So like I want it like once it goes into effect, I want to be able to manage that so that I can like
Okay.
pick which things to invest in first and so on, right? Because like
Sure.
we can't do everything all at once,
Yeah, because here's what
right?
I
Yep.
might
We have to.
do is I might like set a budget for you and put a price on different things. So like you might not necessarily be able to get everything, but you could probably get most of what you're seeking to buy. So
Right. Yeah, I just want to be able to make those decisions
yeah,
without like
yeah, I
having
mean
a
if every
meeting and
yeah, like if
having a
everybody
debate.
yeah, if you get consent from El Presidente and Conrad, then you can do that. So
I don't see why not.
all right.
That could be a fair compromise. We can kind of reserve the funds when you give us a detailed breakdown of what is needed and for how much. We can bit by bit get those funds to be reserved so that when the approval comes and we have the confirmation of these other assets that Presidente has put in, we should be able to have so it can come right up and start with everything without delay. I agree that we can reserve assets for that, so it'll be ready to go, as we say.
Okay, very well. I think that concludes my ask. Thank you.
Okay. So is there anything else during this little not really emergency conference, but um is there anything anybody else brings up on the matter, or is the meeting adjourned?
Oh, we should discuss what we're going to do with the captured Seegson infiltrators. Um, I think we've, through our interrogation and through the information that Richard captured, and I'll sort of nod Richard's way, like in a appreciative way. I think we have all the information that we're going to get out of them. So unless others have, have a better idea, I think we can just hand the whole lot of them over to Ashby and Wayland.
I agree there. That will be good for us.
Yeah. That sounds
Definitely in
good to me.
agreement.
It means in the long term we won't have to, well, they'll probably be in jail for the time being until they,
Yeah.
arrive, take them away. But long
Because it
term, it
should be
won't
noted that smaller ships do come through every now and
be
then, so like you don't need to wait
okay.
until the next pilgrimage to get them out. And that also
All
does
right.
beg the question, because Dave Andrews, he was part of the Seegson plot. Are you going to send him back with Camden Dow and the Merc?
I'm trying to think. We didn't come with a deal with. No, we did have a deal with him,
No,
right?
you had a deal with Carter.
Right. Okay. I just
Yeah.
forget. Yeah.
Like,
So I would. Yeah, I would include him. I would
okay.
say we don't want him on the colony.
Yeah, because you don't really have any for like Dave already told you everything he knew, so
Don't say we don't have use for Dave. There's always uses that Presidente and Conrad can think of.
yeah, and
Yeah, I
Conrad, I
mean,
love
our
that.
productivity is down.
Well, you really think like a sweaty nerdy salesman would be any use to you?
Well, he wouldn't be. Well, he would continue to be sweaty, but probably
The
not
nerdy
much
salesman
time
type will
to.
be changed, yes, to sweaty, indentured miner. Why not? But yeah, maybe to not cause complications for now, the more people we send with the more evidence they have, and the better it will look when we need the approval for the satellite later on. So yeah, that can come at a great time. Yeah.
So you're basically saying you're including Dave as well to sort of sweeten the pot, or
Why not? Why not? With a sigh, he says, "Yes, yes."
Well,
We should put.
Throw him in
I
as a
do
little
think
bonus.
Conrad, based on what you said about the warning about the economy, I think sending more conspirators back to the company would maybe take a little heat off our backs if we can say, hey, we're being
Yeah.
sabotaged by these people.
And here
True,
they
true.
are as proof.
Yes,
The
do
more
with
we
them as you
have,
will.
the
Take out your wrath on these conspirators, not us.
understood. I like the way you think. That makes sense. I will agree to that then.
I wouldn't say this in character, but out of character, I would say, yes, I am very smart. Thank you.
Basically, yeah. He knows it. You know it. We all know it.
so. Anyway, so final call. Is there anything else in the this current council meeting?
Nothing comes to mind.
Nope.
Okay. So with that in mind, I will just switch us back over to the colony overview just for flavor. So the next up on my little list here. So well, actually, I think I'm going to reverse 2 and 3 order-wise. So Simone, prospecting time. So hold on. Where is It's not your colony. It's no, it's not that either. Where the fuck is the Building Better Worlds handout? Give me a sec, because it has the prospecting rules and it's been a while, so I don't remember them off the top of my head.
No problem.
Building Better Worlds. I think it's GM guide. Or no, it's not GM guide. It's player guide. Prospecting, is that it? Nope. Wildcat, and there it is. Okay, so let me pull up the regions again of Koi 416, or yeah, it would be Koi 416D specifically. Okay, which region are you going exploring in?
Excuse me. Yeah, let's all head back to the southern hemisphere east. See if there's
Okay.
anything I missed from the last time I
Okay.
was prospecting out
So,
there.
that is a an observation roll +2.
Yep.
And I mean, if you have any talents that boost observation, like in this situation, then that would apply.
I do not, unfortunately. I
Alright.
don't think there's any that would give me
Okay.
a
I don't know if you
bonus
had
in
any
this
like
situation.
wildcatter talents, but All right, well, just roll
I have
observation.
prospecting, which just allows me to re-roll
Reroll the
for the better
result,
result.
right? All right, well,
Yeah.
then just do your observation plus 2.
Yep.
Okay. So do you want to push that?
Yeah,
Or
because
you want to
each additional success gives like a
plus 1
+1
to the
to the
10s?
result, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
10s. Sure.
Okay. So that's 3 successes. Okay, so then I will do. Actually, do you have the ability to roll on the? Hold on a second. Let me just check. Mother tables. Prospecting finds. Apparently not. I'll just roll it. So let me just close that. Okay. So rolling. So hold on. That's 52. So that would actually be 72. Which you find. Hold on. Let me just check the table. You find. Well, I mean, I'll let you pick. Meadows filled with new plant life that have medical, industrial, agricultural possibilities, or deposits or vents rich in noble gases.
I think this is when you would roll twice to take the better
Oh,
result this
that's
time.
right. Okay, well, yeah. So hold on. In that case, I'll roll it again. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, no, hold on. So that's 36. Then that would be 56. So the 72 was just the higher result, the better result. So I'm assuming you want to stick with that.
Yep.
Because otherwise, you would have just found volcanic vents rich in sulfur.
Sulfur vents.
I'm fine with not finding sulfur vents. I don't want to smell like rotten eggs all day, or
Yeah.
like.
So okay.
But yeah, so
So
it's the 70
yeah,
whatever.
you got 72 from the first result.
Yep,
So
72. Okay.
which I mean, like, and narratively, it says it could be either meadows filled with plant life that has medical, industrial, or agricultural possibilities, or deposits rich in noble gases such as argon, helium, radon, xenon, etc. So I mean, I'll let you pick on the two because they're both kind of sandwiched in the same result. It's like one or the other.
Yeah. Um. I would probably say like the noble gas pocket that I
Okay.
found. I think that's the
So
number
I'll just
one.
make a note of that in the group notes. Um, all right, just make a note of that. And then, like I said, you get to do a second run, and then we'll calculate the money from the second run. So roll, or actually, no, you had to do another observation roll. Are you searching in the same area, or are you gonna search
Um.
somewhere else?
Yeah, I'll do one more search in the same area.
All right.
So once again, get a +2. Um. I think I asked this the last time that I did these rolls. There's no like penalty for just continuing to search the same place, right?
That I've seen per raw, no.
Okay. Yeah,
This
but
is kind
I
of
think the
unusual.
next time, yeah, the next time I do it though, I think I'll expand
Yeah, I
to
think
see
I
what else is out there.
might sort of. Oh, no, run. Yeah. Do you want to push
I'll
that?
push. Yep.
So nothing. So all right. Well, I mean, you can if you have any story points. If you want to spend those, you can. But
Yeah, I'll spend a story point. I don't know why I was able to push it twice, but just
okay.
ignore the
So
second push on that one.
okay.
Okay. Yep, I'll
So
spend a story point for just a flat
all right.
success.
So in that case, all right, then I'll just do another prospecting roll. And unfortunately, you find nothing. So
Even with the second roll?
Well, the second. Well, hold on. The second.
Like the prospecting is when prospecting, you roll twice, and the prospecting finds.
Oh, right. Sorry. Hold on. I keep forgetting about that. Well, you find the silicone beds or salt flats. So, I'll make.
Probably silicone beds. I'll go with, or whichever is.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you pick up the two. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with the silicone.
I mean, because mechanically they give you the
beds.
same benefit, or like same, they're worth the same thing. It's just like narratively. I mean, I'll leave it up to you to choose what you got. So.
Yep.
Okay, so the silicon beds and the and then what was it? The noble gases. So next, so any find may be worth a finder's fee, calculated by rolling d6, multiplying by the value of the tens die, and multiply that by 10. So so for the first, we'll do it in order. So roll me a d6.
Okay.
Five. Okay, so 5 times 7 is
35.
35. Okay, 35. So 35, and then multiplied by 10 would be 350. But just to sort of sweeten the pot, like I said, I added an additional 0.
Yeah.
So that's $3,500 for the first find. And then for the salt or the silicon beds, roll another d6. Okay, a 1 times 5 is well, so 5, 10, so 50.
So 500 just.
Yeah, 500, and then yeah, just be $500 if I did my math right, which I probably didn't. But if I
Yeah,
did,
it was just a bad roll. The second was just bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so $500 for that.
Still made.
But you still
yeah,
made
I still made 4,000. So
okay.
I'm not complaining.
All right, so there you go. So that's your prospecting run. While you are doing that, just
I'm sorry if I can interject.
Sure.
But last time for these prospecting finds, we did say that if you wanted like a bonus on top of that, or to negotiate or something, that you could do it if you wanted to.
Yes, that is true. Which I did like I remember doing that. The problem is I don't remember what the bonus was.
I think he's I don't know, 10, 25, 50%, something like that.
Yeah, I would say it's
It
probably
was one of the numbers.
Maybe it's like
50% you did? I don't know.
Well, the 50%, I mean, that was for the fossils. That was a pretty big discovery. But
oh yeah.
I would say for this other stuff, like Emily, if you want to do a like a manipulation roll, I guess, and then each success like adds 10% up to a max of 50. I
Ooh,
guess
that's cool.
I don't remember if I had any other mechanic, but that's the only thing that I'll spring to mind. So if you want to do that, you can.
By the time I get back to negotiate for this, would I have lost all my stress from like healing it, or would I still have the stress from the pushes?
I'm thinking about it because it definitely does go back to what we were discussing about stress before, especially because we didn't really reach a verdict on it. This time, I will say you'll lose your stress, but I mean, between this session and next, we're definitely going to need to come up with a balanced kind of countermeasure for that. Because I'm okay with you guys pushing. It's just like I said before, I really want there to be some sort of like catch to it, where like it goes wrong somehow. But yeah, for now, yes, you lose your stress.
That's fine. I'm guessing this is just flat manipulation.
Yeah, flat manipulation.
This is gonna be fun. I have 2 dice.
Oh boy.
You can push it.
Maybe you
Um,
have a talent that might apply.
No,
don't
I don't
think
have any
she'd keep
empathy-based
those.
talents. I'll
You don't happen to have intense
attempt it.
focus,
Might
do
as
you?
well.
Intensely focusing.
Yeah,
on
unfortunately, you're
No.
not able to score a better deal, so you're just getting paid the rate that you.
But
Oh.
but since all of the findings, etc., go through the economy department, or better said, the corporate director, so Conrad, since Simone is his buddy there, he will, even without a success, approve a 10% increase.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with it, just a little bit of friendly corruption among pals.
I'll say that's like you're able to shave just a little bit off of the colony budget. Like if you tried any more than that, then that would definitely show up on record. Well, I mean, it probably will show up on record either way, but
There's like a official loophole that you got all figured out.
yeah.
Well, there is. You can read the message I sent to you later. There are funding. Wait. Actually, if the funding cannot be taken from that part of the money, then it can be
God.
taken from. I don't want to say officially from where, but you know where there's a big budget. You know.
I'm
Oh,
your
what the
buddy, so
hell?
you're embezzling money for me. I feel very conflicted about this.
Here's a whole
Blood
bunch of
money.
money. Don't mind where it came from. It doesn't matter. It's yours now.
It's
I
not
feel like
Ask
he's
questions,
trying to
just take it.
do something for
Yeah.
you later
So-
down the line by skimming off a little
Yeah.
bit more for me, man.
No, never. So wait, it was 4,000, right? It was 4,000. So with 10%,
so.
it's just an additional 400.
400.
That's
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, that's nothing. Actually, yeah, I'm going to write to you where I'm taking that out
No,
of.
please do, because I
that'd be
don't
very easy.
remember it, and I don't want to make the mistake of just asking aloud. So, anyway,
Oh dear God.
yeah,
Well, thank you,
Oh,
I
you have
guess,
no.
for a little
No,
bit extra.
Yeah. He's just like because you can haggle for the bonus, etc. He's just going super easy on you and just approving it because
Yeah, don't mention
wants-
it. No, seriously,
Yeah.
don't mention it. Anyway,
don't mention it. I will mention it when the time comes.
So,
that kind of unworded.
yeah. So,
I feel very conflicted about this.
anyway, well, during the
Right.
time that the prospecting expedition is going on, like simultaneously, El Presidente, you actually get a while you're chilling in your office one
I didn't do
day. You get a phone call from the spaceport.
Oh. Yeah.
And basically, you're the guy there calls and says, "Mr. El Presidente, sir, we have an arrival at the spaceport. There's a guy here. He requested you by name, and he says he has a delivery to make."
Yes, of course. I've been expecting him. I'll go right away.
Okay. So El Presidente goes down to the spaceport, and then you like
Skipping
when
along my merry way.
you see, so there's like this, junky, rusty old freighter. Like it has like the same sort of vibe as the fucking Betty from Alien Resurrection. Like it's very like old sort of ship. Like one of those things like, how is this thing still flying? But you see hanging out at the spaceport, this dude, and he sees you, and he says, "Arturo, mi amigo," and he offers you like the Predator style like bro fist.
Yeah. Reach
Son of
out
a mia,
and
and just he greets you, and he says, like he is like, I'll keep things straightforward, and he's even holding the case that he has in his artwork here, and he says like, as promised, and he hands over the case like, whatever you do, don't drop it or shake it.
oh,
My God.
the
I love it.
and the data drives fit in here. That's impressive.
Yeah, and he kind of nods along, and is like, yeah, you don't want to break them.
No, that would be very unfortunate. Well, I don't want to hold you any longer than I need to, but I'm glad that we could come to an agreement.
He says, "Yeah, good to see you again, old friend." And he's
Yeah.
looking around, like, "Say, I mean, I do need to get going, but you don't happen to have a bar around here, do you?"
Yeah, I do actually. Not mine, but the guy at the bar, name is Garvey. Tell him I sent you. He'll be happy to have the business, and maybe he'll give you a deal.
All right. And he says, and it's like good talk, man. And gives you like a firm sort of like pat on the shoulder, and he walks off to go down to the. Well, I mean, I'm assuming you give him directions to the bar, so he isn't just aimlessly wandering the colony.
I'm not just gonna be like, yeah, we got one.
Good luck.
So, yeah.
Hope
So
you find it.
here's the map. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
I'll say, yeah, it's like around the corner there. You can't miss it. Big glass windows. One of them
so
kind of boarded up over. That was my bad.
so well, he does suggest to you, like, after you drop off the data drives, that if you would want to come to the bar with him just for like short time and drink and catch up.
Yeah, plenty of catching up to do.
So okay, so I mean that's kind of like one of those sort of like Lucas wipe to a different scene kind of things. Like you guys are just kind of off doing that, catching up with an old pal. So is there anything anybody else wants to do during this sort of quote unquote stage where Simone is out prospecting and I mean, not directly overlapping with what El Presidente is doing, but basically like we're at the stage before the major sort of challenge of the arc. So my question is, like, what do you guys want to be doing in the downtime before that happens?
I have one question. Since this is the new cycle with all of these new colony roles, etc., and the thing would be coming at the middle of the cycle, have we been paid the next amount of 6 months or not? And this has nothing to do with
you.
Oh,
well,
God.
So like I said, because again, rulings, I don't remember what I said. If you guys want to say that, like, do you want to do like half up front and then the other half at the end of the shift, or would it just make more sense?
Oh yeah. Since you're doing the kind of inciting thing in the middle of a cycle. Oh yeah, we can do it like that as well from my angle. Like if it doesn't cause too much of a headache.
Well, I mean, it's basically just like, is everybody else fine with like basically taking half of your pay now and then the other half at the end of the cycle?
Yeah, it seems fair enough.
That makes sense.
I think someone else is going to be taking half of my pay too.
So anyway,
I don't even know what I'd use money for.
Me neither, but
well, basically you're
paid
paid money.
Find out.
You may be an android, but here's the thing: you're paid money like if it helps you with your mission.
Yeah.
Like if you need to buy, I don't know, like gear for a special operation, or like clothes for a new disguise.
Yeah.
Like you're not paid to pay rent; you're being paid to for your mission.
Be sneaky, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you kind of failed to be sneaky part. So anyway, but in terms of salaries,
Are you sure I failed that?
Well, just so in terms of just how much you guys are getting paid, as a reminder, hold on, where the hell is it? Okay, this. So
yeah, notes and miscellaneous.
Yeah, I see it. So El Desperado and Conrad get 1,200 weekly. Albert gets 700. Simone gets 500, and Richard gets 500. So basically, it's like what, 13 weeks? Because it'd be 26 weeks is a 6-month cycle. So
exactly
13. So basically, whatever your salary is multiplied by 13, and that's how much you're getting paid.
Okay.
Plus my special, or not yet.
But what if I don't remember what my salary is?
I just said what it was.
It's 12.
What if I wasn't paying attention to anything you said?
I was paying attention to like the last 95% of what he said, but I
Well, like I
got a
said,
message.
you make 1,200 a week. So multiply 1,200 by 13, and that's how much money you made.
I should be making way more than that. They're robbing me.
Oh, just you wait.
fuck's sake.
And Conrad, in answer to your question, yes.
Okay.
Oh dear God.
I make $500 a week. You don't hear me whinging and moaning. You big baby,
Oh.
El Presidente.
I'm the biggest.
The TV trope psychopathic man-child.
Can we just reflect on the fact that the person being paid the most is the most vocal, complaining he's not being paid enough?
Exactly. It's a vital part of the character.
You're accurately role-playing a rich person.
Not rich enough.
Yeah, you and Conrad
It's the
get paid the
pores
same
that are
amount,
keep
man.
dragging me down.
Yep.
Exactly. Yes.
To
True.
work
You
for all
don't
these
hear
poor
him
people, I
whinging and
could be
moaning.
making their money instead.
Yes, you should look up to the company, man. You don't see me ever complaining. I'm happy
Yeah,
about
there's a reason
my
for that, I'm
situation.
sure.
Yeah, I'm perfectly content, and I'm actually spending the cash.
I don't
that
think that
so?
really makes people confident.
That makes me more uncomfortable, if I'm being honest.
What are you spending it on? What are you buying? There's nothing to buy out here.
Also,
Well,
something
ask Simone.
ridiculous I just noticed is we're not even in the Terra Nova voice chat, we're in the lobby.
Yeah, I
Join
noticed.
me!
We're
I
just getting
noticed
ready.
that it was a different channel, but
I'm
I
gonna
was
just
like,
jump into
okay,
Terra Nova
whatever.
right quick, hold on.
You all joined me. I was just sitting there waiting.
Oh, it looks like
Fuck,
Megas
we
got
left
left
Megan.
behind.
I
All right,
think we've
since the
just been
security
using the
guy's not
lobby
here,
for
we
so
can start
long.
telling each other secrets.
Conrad just jumped back in. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. Well, since Conrad's not here, we can tell everyone the secrets that Conrad. Oh no, hey Conrad.
Oh, you have
think
no
we've
idea what I
been-
told Megas.
Cody,
the
I
other-
think we've been
yeah, I
using
know. I was dreading that.
so much for like gaming
Oh.
and stuff that I think we just jumped into the lobby automatically. I think that's what
Okay.
happened.
This is
Yeah.
how we kill Presidente.
Man, you guys sure fucking worked out that plan fast.
I mean, all you have to do is raise a gun and pull the trigger. Like, it's actually quite simple.
Yeah. I
We
imagine
confirmed a
he
few
just
things, right, Megas? Right? The plan is
Shoot him, just shoot
confirmed.
him in the face.
he just stepped in, and you're like, hammer? Question mark? Yep.
3 words: poisonous drink.
I play
Poisonous
Hitman, so
cigars.
I'm well versed in this.
Yeah. Kill him with the explosive rubber ducky.
Sheriff Hitman. Oh, that's dangerous.
Well, no,
Does
no.
El
The pro move is
Presidente
we have to
smoke
find
a
someone
lot?
else and convince them to kill you, so that our hands are. It's a clean kill. And we get the,
Good.
no bodies found.
Anyway,
Don't reveal
He
that,
just hops in.
man.
He's like, "Hey, you ever
so-
seen the movie Zoolander?"
anyway, as I understand it, so there was a question about getting paid, which, like I said, everybody gets basically half of their cycle pay now, and then the other half at the end of the arc. Final call: is there anything anybody else wants to be doing during this quote-unquote downtime before the major event?
Am I able to start bribing people to give me information?
What do
I
you
mean, I mean, you can. It depends on what kind of information you're looking for, but
Conrad is
I'm
so
just gonna
proud.
be like, I'm just gonna be like paying them like 20, $50 a week and be like, here, if you hear something that sounds fishy, come tell me.
Rookie numbers.
okay. So I
I
guess
mean,
that's what.
I don't get paid a lot.
Well, I guess that's what Richard's
Uh-huh.
doing. He's just
Trying
he's,
to bribe people on like the McDonald's
yeah, exactly.
salary.
Yes. Right.
Flips the police officer a $5 bill. You never pulled
Yeah.
me over, right?
Yeah, here's a. It's like, oh, look at that! Like a dozen donuts at Dunkin' Donuts just slipped in your pocket.
The
So-
half-used $15 Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
Oh god.
Like,
Anyway.
if anything, I'd like stash up a big amount and be like, "You didn't see anything," and just like put $1,000 in the pocket. Like, I'm just gonna walk away now.
Those donuts have diamonds in them.
What are they from El Presidente, encrusted with diamonds?
Anyway,
Why would I spend
so-
that much money on the pores?
God.
Gold
Anyway.
leaf donuts.
No. They're the takers. They're the takers.
Right. So I take it then nobody else is doing anything during this cycle.
Like in character, I would be like writing up my my defense
Right.
plans and all that sort of stuff. I'll
Okay.
do that obviously out
Okay.
of game, but
Yeah, the details we
There's
can save
also
for
the
later.
kind of the obvious things that were kind of pre-planned. Cody.
Yes, I know. Like the stuff that I sort of cryptically hinted at in the group notes post that I did, like that stuff will be happening. Like the deliver, like basically stuff like the delivery with that you requested from Ashby, like that's going to be coming after this main event.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So anyway, so let me just pull up the notes here. So at one point while you guys are, so this is when everybody's returning to the colony and you guys are just kind of business as usual. A combination, like two different people give warnings to two different people. Like namely Albert, you get a notification from Carlsberg, the sort of desk jockey cop, and then El Presidente, you are notified by just some nondescript subordinate. In-system radar actually detected what appears to be a lifeboat on approach to Terra Nova.
Interesting. Can we raise them on comms?
So, well, here's the thing. On one hand, it's normal for escape pods to zero in on the closest colony beacon and make a soft landing, but the issue is that it's coming in hot and it's not going to land near the colony. It's touching down somewhere north of the colony, and by touching down, I mean it's going to be a hard landing.
Yet.
Damn it.
How soon is it going to be here?
At the rate of descent, probably within, I don't know, like 10 to 15 minutes.
Would it be possible to get one of our own ships? Like we have that science ship that we still haven't done anything with yet, right?
Yeah.
Would it be possible to get it up in the air and in time to reach it before it gets into the atmosphere? And
well, the problem is that by this point it's already in atmosphere. Like
okay.
The thing is that the problem is that so the escape pod, when an escape pod is launched, it attempts to zero in on the nearest colony beacon, but the problem is that for whatever reason there's been a malfunction, and basically instead of neatly safely coming to a landing at the colony, like at the spaceport or whatever, it's basically something's gone wrong and it's going to be crash landing. Like that doesn't necessarily mean everybody aboard is going to die, but
right. Well, they're designed to land on a planet. I mean, there's no guarantee that there's a colony nearby.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that it's going to be a safe landing.
Right. So yeah, I think I would focus on we have our various shuttles. I would basically order one of the shuttles to prepare with a medical team and a engineering team, and then also a security team. I'm not sure how many people the shuttles can take, but
well, the drop shuttles can hold 20, so
yeah. So I'd probably take one of those because we don't know how many people could be in this life pod. And sort of getting all that together, and I'll want to go out with the shuttle.
Okay, so let me just put together a little list here. So Albert's going. Why the hell? Hold on, I think.
How fast do you want to get there?
Vroom.
Hold on. Let's see if there's a GIF that I think pretty much sums up what Richard is asking. Yeah, this is what I'm hearing from Richard.
Can't do that in atmosphere.
So, anyway, so I'm basically just kind of in this little area where Albert's token is. So who all is going on the mission? I mean, any of the PCs can come along, but
So we'll definitely need a medic. So I guess Jessica Maitland.
Maitland,
Maitland.
yes, yeah, she's
Bring
coming along.
her.
And which, speaking of, she's no longer critted.
Some engineers, maybe like Simone. I don't know if we want to have anyone else from the engineering.
Maybe like a second medic, just in case something happens to the first one.
I'll just use this generic medical doctor token.
Not suspicious at all.
Yeah. And then you wanted to have an engineer.
Yeah, some
Colin
engineers.
knows behind
there,
who he's going.
Like, there's going to be a wreckage, right? So we need to like retrieve the black box or the
For lack of
weapons
anybody else, I'll just use Danny. So yeah, Conrad, I see, kind of invited himself aboard the mission. Simone, are you tagging along?
He's not active.
Richard, are you flying? Is that what you're going to do?
I'll be going. My people
I'll
need me.
come along.
My people need me. Okay, so the whole party's going. And then Albert, you said you were going to bring a security team. Who all are you bringing with you? Or like, how many officers are you bringing?
I'd say like 4. So like maybe we don't need to bring both Dustin and what's her name?
Alexandra.
Alexandra. So like maybe just Dustin and like 3 other random NPC guys.
All right. So I will just choose from. Hold on, let's see. NPCs, named NPCs. Team. So we'll say, I guess, Jared, Sheila, and Shipanov. Who doesn't look especially happy to see El Presidente on the mission. And similarly, Jessica narrows her eyes at Conrad.
He kind of waves back. Hope you're feeling better. Not getting the hint.
She kind of, not necessarily, I mean, her hand is healed by this point, but she kind of clutches it, like makes a gesture of clutching her hand the same way, sort of like Dr. Hemlock in the Bad Batch does. So, okay, so the whole team. So, Richard, in this case, give me a piloting roll to see how fast you can get there. Oh my!
Whoa.
Ludicrous
Fast
speed!
enough.
Go!
Boom.
So the drop shuttle takes off and it just boom, and like everybody kind of like recoils back, like Richard just guns it. So you get pretty lovely view of well, I mean, yeah, there'd probably be monitors. I don't think the shuttle and Alien Covenant had like windows for the passengers to see out of, but obviously the pilot has windows. So basically you're flying out. Around, like, by this point you see that there is like a smoke trail from the like this clearing in the jungle, which you can deduce to be the escape pod. And I would say you could probably also track the escape pod, like Danny sitting in like the co-pilot seat, checking the GPS, kind of giving you direction. I mean, well, she doesn't really need to give you directions, honestly, because you can kind of see it. But so yeah, you land in the I'll just drag the hold on, drop shuttle. So I'll just drag that. That's a small ass fucking token. Holy shit. I'll change the size to 2 and 2 and update that. There we go. So the drop shuttle lands, and then around the time that you are landing, you get there right as the occupants are disembarking. And you can see, like, when you're getting out and getting closer, that some of them have visible injuries and one has a bit of a limp. So, all right. So what are you guys doing?
To be doing like shockingly well for having fallen out of the fucking sky.
Well, these escape pods are designed to not kill everyone when they land on planets, right?
Yeah.
If you had like a ship and your like lifeboat like caught on fire as soon as it touched the water.
The Alien 3 escape pod is an exception, not the rule.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, if I take a lifeboat from a ship and ram it 10,000 miles per hour
Well, keep in
onto
mind it
land.
does have
It's
thrusters.
Well, but they're designed to do that. That's the point. Is that they're designed to be in space and to like get people down to the planet, probably.
Yeah. And like
Fair
basically,
enough.
so let me put it this way: in Prometheus, Vickers' lifeboat, like that's the kind of escape pod we're working with. Like it does have thrusters, but like remember when Vickers' pod, like it's landing, but then it rams into a rock that's sticking up, and that kind of makes it a harder landing.
Yeah,
Like
that makes
that's
sense.
basically what we're dealing with here. Like it's something like you can kind of gather something must have collided with this thing while I was in space, and that is what kind of threw it out of whack. It would probably have been a softer landing if it hadn't collided with something like maybe like an asteroid or something. So anyway, but yeah, what are you saying or doing regarding the people getting out of the escape pod, or regarding the escape pod itself?
Damn, you guys good?
So I would have the security people sort of like just form a perimeter around the
The
landing.
shuttle.
Yeah. Just make sure we're containing the situation and we're not missing anything.
Okay.
And yeah, we'd sort of start approaching the colonists, and I think the first thing we'd ask, is there anyone that needs assistance, or is there anyone that's like stuck in the shuttle or in the escape pod?
So, the first thing the woman on point says when she sees like specifically that like as you're approaching and she sees the Wayland Core logo on the hull of the shuttle, the first thing she does is she gushes a sigh of relief. It's like, oh, thank God! I'm so glad it's a Wayland colony of all places we could have landed. And what's of note is that she doesn't sound sarcastic, but is actually genuinely relieved. But in response to what you're saying in terms of if anybody's injured, she says that we're the only survivors. There was a sixth, but he was killed in his pod.
What happened? Can you let us know what made the shuttle so damaged?
Now, I will say this, as you're saying that, Conrad, if you guys are kind of sort of observing both the woman and these other characters here, as well as the escape pod, there is actually the Yutani logo on the pod, as well as a serial number written in Japanese, and the survivors are actually wearing like worker jumpsuits with the Yutani logo on the shoulders.
Interesting. Would this be a situation in which I could use the group psychology talent I have?
What is your intent with it? And depending on that, I'll say yes, just if it.
Just trying to get a read on, if this group is like telling the truth about. Well, I know that they're in the crash, but like, why they like,
Well,
where are they from?
they
Basically.
haven't actually said
Oh,
anything yet, so
never mind
there's
then.
no point in
I'll
getting read on it if they haven't even said anything.
Yep. I'll save that for later though.
Okay.
I keep forgetting how it works.
So, so what was the question before that?
Conrad just asked what happened to the escape shuttle. Why did it crash? Why has it been damaged?
The woman, well, she first introduces herself as Jennifer McLean, and she also introduces her comrades. I mean, they're just generic NPCs, like not major characters, but they do have names. So she introduces the group. There's Tobias Johnson, Derek Simpson, and Akito and Makoto Hamada, which the two of them are brothers. And she says that whether I mean, it's not really. I mean, we must have collided with something on our way out, but after we abandoned ship. But I'm not sure what. It must have been colliding with an asteroid or something. Like I don't know. We were in cryosleep when it happened.
On
What was your main?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're asking the same thing. What was your main ship?
basically.
So
Were you a colony ship?
she says yes. We were aboard a ship called the Kamikaze. And before that sounds like a cliche regarding World War II, do note that the term dates 700 years before World War II and translates to divine wind.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we were aboard a Yutani ship called the Kamikaze and abandoned ship.
And what was the purpose of your ship? Is this a colony ship, a freighter, what?
She says that's where the situation gets a little more complicated. And she says that, listen, we really need your help. The Yutani Corporation is out for our blood, and we need to way off this planet ASAP before they catch up to us.
Huh.
So I'm gonna like sort of raise my eyebrow and sort of motion for McLean to sort of walk with me outside the rest of the group so we can discuss in private.
Okay, so she goes off to the side, like the edge of the jungle with you, and she says, yeah, as for why the situation is urgent, we were Yutani employees working at a secret R&D station, but then we discovered that Yutani was working on developing synthetic sleeper agents from reverse engineered Wayland blueprints, and they had plans to disperse them through the Middle Heavens, potentially using them to assassinate and usurp colonies and even government officials, and replace them with copies who were loyal to the Yutani agenda.
Oh shit.
So these are human beings like mentally programmed, or are these synthetic?
Well, they were supposed to be like synthetic doubles of government agents based on Yutani, like reverse engineered Wayland androids, is what she's telling you.
Okay.
Think me on a whole nother level.
Basically,
Yeah.
basically, you have Mr. Presidente today, but tomorrow you have Mr. Presidente the synthetic, but
Mr.
we don't know
Presidente
about
version
it.
2.0.
Yeah, but nobody knows about it
Yeah.
because it's replaced, etc.
Yeah. But keep in mind, she is having this conversation with just Albert, so.
Right.
Yeah, nobody heard this.
Do you have proof of this?
She says, let me just pull up my notes again. Yeah, we, like before we went AWOL, we, downloaded, some, like all the evidence, like all the stuff we could from their servers and fled aboard a stolen SEV. There were mercs in hot pursuit, and we, bought ourselves some time by bailing out of the lifeboat. And she says, if you all have a ship with an FTL drive to spare so we can get out of here, we can make it worth your while. In addition to potentially being able to pay you for your efforts, we downloaded evidence of their activities on a long data disk, and that alone will give your company some considerable leverage over them. Like she's saying, like basically, like the payment, she has evidence, like a lot of juicy stuff on Yutani that could be handed over to Wayland, and they would, like, they as in Wayland would probably pay you very generously, especially after what you already did with Siegson's spies.
Yes, I agree. So out of character, we do have is the only FTL ship that we have is the whatever, the one that we captured from the Siegson
No,
folks.
you have the Ore Chariot as well. Like the Ore Chariot is a cargo freighter that is like specifically like assigned to the colony. But you did capture the Observer, Camden's ship, so you do have two FTL ships. So if you wanted to, you could just give her, like Jennifer and her compatriots, the Observer so they could escape.
Yes. So what I'll tell her is we do have some FTL ships. Obviously, that would be a significant decision giving them to you. But if the information you have is as valuable as you claim, I imagine we could work out an arrangement.
And she says, well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, she says, I do And she's just she looks back over at her friends in the escape pod, and then even takes like a glance skyward. Like you get the impression that she's definitely very on edge. But she says that, um, well, first of all, I didn't get your name.
Yes, I'm Albert Zims. I'm head of security on this colony.
And she says, well, pleasure to meet you, Marshall. But as I was saying, I do not want to seem ungrateful, but I don't I admittedly like I will cooperate, but the thing is I'm very fearful about the idea of just handing over this information and possibly risking you or your allies over there potentially double crossing us and just handing us over to Yutani. So I mean, I will share some of what we've learned, but like the full 9 yards will be given once we have our ship. Do we have a deal?
Of course, that's a reasonable.
Yeah. She offers you a handshake.
I don't expect you to trust us on with no evidence.
So,
and
and she
I'll
says,
shake your
and
hand.
likewise. So she offers you a handshake and gives you a little bit of a smile. I mean, she definitely seems kind of, like pained, obviously from the crash, but she's one of the ones who was better off. Like, like if you were to glance over like the two brothers, for example, like one of them has like his forehead's bleeding, and he's already being treated by Jessica, and his brother was like kind of helping him walk out of the ship, or out of the escape pod rather. But what she does is, so she says, please follow me, and she leads you over to the escape pod. So while that is going on, so basically for El Presidente and Conrad and everybody else, like, so you see Albert and Jennifer were having their conversation, and then they start walking to the escape pod. So do you say or do anything?
Yeah, Conrad is kind of like, Albert, what's going on?
Yeah.
Keep us in
Yeah,
the loop, man.
I'll sort of like wave to him and is like, I'll tell you later, sort of thing.
I feel like
Okay.
we should
We're all
probably
here.
know now.
I'd question: am I able to sneak up behind them and listen in?
We're in like an open field or something, probably.
Yeah, like basically you were. So the way I'll imagine, like, let me just do a little drawing off to the left. So say Conrad's token here represents like the group as a whole. So there's a fucking, so you're in a field, and then there's this sort of like the forest sort of all around you like this. And Jennifer and Albert were basically over here, and Richard, it was over by like where quote unquote Conrad is. So there's no way that you could have just walked over to
Quote
Albert
unquote
without.
Conrad.
So how about this? I will tell Jennifer, because I see that Conrad and probably Presidente are like looking confused. I will tell her like, hey, go tend to your people, get checked out by the medics. I will confer with my people quickly, and we'll discuss on the next steps for getting your people out of here safely.
So hold on, just so I understand. So you're saying to, like, basically you're going to go talk with them while she consults with her people.
Yeah, and then we can go to the shuttle.
Okay. So then she agrees to that. Well, some of the, I mean, like I said, the two brothers are being treated by Jessica, so I'll drag them off to the side here, and then that just leaves Tobias Johnson and Derek Simpson. So, um, so Jennifer, I guess, will go have like a group huddle with them and just kind of consult with them, see how they're doing, what they want to do, her conversation with Albert, etc. So, and then while that's going on, Albert goes over to talk to everybody else. So, what are you discussing?
Yeah, so I think I would talk only to Conrad and Arturo
Presidente?
at this point.
Okay.
And I would basically just inform them of what Jennifer told me, and I would add on to that. This is another opportunity for us to get some valuable information for the company, and obviously put ourselves in good light. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't work with them, assuming we can confirm their claims.
I understand your position there. This is alarming. Oh goddamn! Another bunch of new people, another bunch of trust issues. But how can we be sure they're telling the truth? How do we know they're not playing us?
Well, we'll obviously have to check out the data that they provide first to confirm its value, and we we'll have to probably interrogate them a little bit and just make sure that their story checks out. My biggest concern is if Yutani is as insistent on reclaiming the data as she claimed, they might show up and not be too happy with us.
I doubt that, since we've had we've had all of these incidents. I mean, we should probably have a reputation by now that this colony is not to be messed with. But I don't know. We will see. We have to confirm that they're not just bullshitting us, basically. But it's concerning. All of this doesn't make any sense to me. But if they are telling the truth, then absolutely, this information will be very, very useful to Wayland Industries. Though the fishy things about this story, to me, at least, are that they require a whole ship from us. I mean, those things, not only are they not cheap, they are like, we literally don't have a lot of them lying around. That is the risky part of having one less ship if anything was to come awry. Maybe we give her a ship and then she tells her pirate friends in orbit, hey, they have one less ship now, and go and attack them. They have nowhere to run or something. If they could be telling the truth, and we then should help them, but until then we should keep them in a secure location, either to keep them locked up in the med bay, or, even though, I mean, they're not prisoners, but in our holding cells, just to make sure that they cannot sabotage or do anything to our colony, while we have to make sure that they are who they say they are. And I take a look at this goddamn information and see, is there any valid credence to this? Because if there is, then headquarters is absolutely going to need to know about it, and then maybe a ship for them could make sense.
Well, I think putting them in the jail cells would be a unfriendly act. We could just put them up in a, you know, uh, housing complex, but guard it to restrict their movements, but otherwise treat them nicely. I do agree. We need to check out their story and investigate before we hand over anything. Um, but I would say, um, if what they say is true and Wayland or Yutani is working on these robots first, it sounds like they may be using stolen data from our company. And two, I think, and I'll give like both of them sort of like a sly look. I think we both know that the company has many interests with various governments that could be undermined by such a play from Wayland or from Yutani.
True. We need to keep this information. We need to validate it. We need to keep it safe, and if there's any value in it, we need to make sure it reaches the right channels up within Wayland. We need to be very, very slow, careful, and deliberate with how we proceed with them. They can either be a great use and asset, or they can be incredible danger. We need
I
to
have
we need to make sure.
Yes, I have some ideas about how to get them off planet. I would prefer we do it quickly. The longer they're here, the more we risk Yutani showing up and having a confrontation with them. But we can discuss that after. Are we aligned in principle? And I'll look at Presidente.
Naturally.
Of course.
Very well. We'll need to check out all of these people. I want to make sure, well, with this talk about synthetics, I want to make sure we don't have one of them. One of them could be a synthetic. We'll have to check that out, and we'll need to strip down the lifeboat here.
Agreed. Let's proceed then.
Okay, so like Jennifer's still consulting with the two guys over here, which, I mean, they're more or less in the same sort of, like, they're not severely injured. They're functional. They're not in the bad shape as the one guy. So she just gets done. She gets done, checking up on them when she sees you approaching. Is like, Marshal Zims. Oh, actually, hold on. I gotta answer this message real quick. So, anyway, so so she turns around and says, "Oh, Marshal Zims, what can I do for you?"
So I will be carefully watching her for any signs of deception at this point. Like, I don't know if at some point you want me to do like a manipulation roll or something like that, but I'll be detecting for anything that if she's trying to deceive us. But basically, I will tell Jennifer, yes, I've conferred with our colony's leadership, and we've all agreed to tentatively to take you in and uh, what I want to say, respond to your request or fulfill your request. We, as I
Taking it into
mentioned, we do.
consideration.
Yes, take your request into very serious consideration. We do have FTL ships that could be used to get you off planet securely. Um, Obviously, we are very concerned about. We need to verify any of your data before we agree to anything like that. But our plan is we'll host you in you know in a suite at our complex while we finish our investigation, and then we'll aim to get you off the planet as quickly as possible. Is that acceptable?
Yes, I can agree to that.
Um, let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to ask? The other thing I would be interested in her showing me is I'd like you to show me your lifeboat here, and I'd like to understand how your 6 crewmen died.
Well, no, she didn't have 6 crewmen. It's just the 6th person who died.
Yes, the yeah, your 6th companion.
Yeah. So she says, "Of course," and she looks to Conrad and Arturo, and she says, "Will your 2 companions be accompanying us?"
Yes,
I'll
we
sort
will.
of, if they want to come, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is anybody else? Because I know
I'm the
Simone and Richard have just been kind of chilling. I don't know if either of them want to come along or if they want to do anything else outside.
That's up to them if they want me there, because synthetic.
Yeah. So
Conrad signals to both of them to come. The more eyes, the merrier. He needs everybody on
Yeah,
point to
for us
investigate the
to
ship.
stay together.
okay.
And plus, we have the security team watch and the other 4 dudes in
Yeah.
case they do anything.
They're gonna go over to
Yep.
Jessica to see if Jessica and her coworker to see if they have any like injuries that they're not really feeling at this time. So
Yeah.
basically
We'll
it's
bring
just the
Danny
piece.
with us as well.
Okay.
She can take a look inside the
Okay.
life pod.
So Danny
or
tags
boat.
along. So yeah, so Jennifer escorts you into the lifeboat, and basically, if you've played like the Heart of Darkness scenario, it's pretty much the same layout of that lifeboat, which I don't have a map of it loaded in, but it's not going to be a combat scenario, so you're not really sweeping it and needing it.
Yeah.
But basically, she leads you to the lifeboat. She asks like, what is the first thing you want to check, like, because she can give you a tour of the lifeboat. It's just like, what's the first thing you want to verify?
Cryobeds, black box. What else? Assessing the level of damage. How
Okay.
does that compare to the story provided?
So, well, first of all, I mean, just from the outside of the ship, I mean, you can see that there was definitely like not just from the damage, um, obviously the bottom and sort of the side of the escape pod took some pretty heavy damage from the crash, but you can see there's like a dent in one of the thruster arms. Like one of the thrusters is bad, like that isn't touching the ground is pretty heavily damaged, which kind of checks out the story of there being a mid-space collision. So that alone checks out.
So I'm gonna ask her, like, as we're like looking around, can she describe how how did they, lose their main ship, and why were they in the escape pod?
So what she says is, let me just double check what I had in my notes. So she said that, we, like the reason we got this ship, as I said, was that, while we were working at the station, she gives the name of a station, and says that, we hijacked one of their SCVs because we didn't have any other way to get out. And the thing is that, as I said, they had a corporate like mercenary kill team chasing us, and so we did try to throw them off our trail under the assumption that they were tracking the transponder of the ship we were on, the kamikaze. We punched out in the escape pod in the hopes that they would keep chasing the ship and not the pod. So basically, they just abandoned ship. Like the ship, wasn't destroyed. It's just they abandoned ship mid transit.
Basically, they said, "All right, we steal the ship, start going, and then halfway we jump out."
Yeah, exactly. Like they did like the an Indiana Jones style stunt, like in the prologue
yeah.
of Dial of Destiny, where he like jammed the fucking gas pedal so the car keeps driving and then he jumps out, kind of deal. That's basically what they did.
And how long ago was that?
I don't have a sense of how much time has passed, but so I can't really give you an exact answer on that.
Okay, I guess I'm just trying to get a sense of, like, did this just happen a couple days ago? Was this like months ago? Like,
It definitely
I'm trying to
wasn't
decide, like,
months ago, but it wasn't like it was definitely wasn't like just a few days. It was Jennifer doesn't, because she was in cryo sleep the whole time and she doesn't have a sense of what the day is right now, like the day and
Can you
time
just
and month and all that.
can you
we would
just
just tell her.
give her the date
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
see if she remembers what was before?
Yeah, she gives it some thought and then she like double checks one of the like computers in the, well, you said you were checking out the cryo bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she checks the
Yes.
pods and basically the date of the incident was a few weeks ago.
Mm.
So it was somewhat recent, but it wasn't like a long time ago. But while you're in the cryo bay, I do like, she does point out, the sixth pod that's there. The guy basically had like a Corporal Hicks style death, where like he was like brutally crushed by his pod malfunctioning, and the sight of it, I would say all the humans in the room get one stress from seeing this. And then there's Richard,
Oh,
who's
man.
just like
Richard just
stone
completely
cold.
unfazed.
Yeah. Oh look, a dead body.
Oh, look, another one.
So
Yeah, he's super dead.
yeah.
If you allow me to interject, greetings. What Ms. What'd you say your name was?
Jennifer McLean. And you are?
Jennifer McLean. I'm the corporate director of Wayland. There's the representation of Wayland Industries on this colony here. So your plight is very, very important to me. I'm glad you're all okay. If I may ask, why? How did you come into possession of such information, and why?
She gives a momentary glance over to Albert in the like implicit sense of like hoping you pick up on the facts, like if you want to say something you can, like to just kind of shut her up or just to say it for her, but she starts to speak and she basically just
So sorry, what did Conrad, what'd you ask?
He basically asked, how did they come with a crucial information that they
I'm
want
gonna
to bargain for, and
Yeah, I'm gonna signal Conrad to shut up. Because we're in a larger group of people.
oh yeah, I forgot we're in that sense. Okay, yeah, then he wouldn't have asked her that.
Okay.
If I'm allowed to retcon, please.
yeah,
Sorry.
sure. Okay, then in
Yeah.
that case, Jennifer doesn't follow up. But
Doing
anyway,
the like
so
the cut neck type of motion.
yeah,
Like, dude,
or you just pinch him.
Yeah. Yeah. I did. He like looks around. Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So anyway, is there anything else so you've seen, and also the pod. Jennifer tells you this, but the I mean, you can also see on the readout that the guy who died in his pod was named Bryce Kingsley.
Mhm. Is there a black box with like the secured information
Well,
of?
if memory serves, realistically, I think the black box would be on the ship itself.
Well,
Mhm.
the life pod would have a record, right? Like in Alien 3, we see that where Ripley's investigating it.
Oh, that's true. I haven't seen
Yeah,
Alien
and
3 in
then
a long time, and for good reason. But
and the Narcissus had one they knew from Aliens when they say
yes, yeah,
the
good
black
point.
box had no information on the aliens. So yeah, it's very basic. Whatever
Okay,
information,
yeah.
it's literally almost nothing. But like officially, he asks
Like,
if it's intact to see if there's anything.
well, there's I mean, basically quoting Van Leeuwen and Ripley's trial, it's like the lifeboat like corroborates some elements of her account, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what Jennifer has said sort of exceeds the amount of information that would be on record.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Like, there's very
Okay.
limited information about like where the ship was when it launched, you know, where it launched from. Obviously, like basic information, like identifying information about the ship, like the ship itself, the kamikaze, that sort of stuff. But like the specifics of the incident are from Jennifer's account alone, or at least based on what she told Albert. So, which I mean, nobody else has heard that conversation.
All right then. It seems there's not much information more we can glean from this wreckage here. Maybe we should organize a crew to slowly come and kind of quarantine the area, not in the biological sense, but start stripping it off for parts and recycling generally, so we can move it out and rush it and take our fellow survivors here to be checked in the med bay, and then later to your precinct, Albert, if you agree to follow up with some questions in private, and
Yes.
and then
Well,
some meals, of course.
yes, we'll arrange for a private housing block for them for the time being, and we'll keep it secure to prevent anyone else from coming or leaving.
And Jennifer, I mean, hearing that discussion, she chimes in and says, "Well, I truly am touched by your hospitality, and I do mean that. I would much rather get out of here as soon as possible. I mean, for all I know, I mean, Yutani is already en route. They might have already figured out where we are, picked up the beacon, the trajectory of the pod, however they might be tracking us."
Yes, I agree. We need to move quickly, and I'll
she's
sort of turn.
Yeah, she basically, if I may, she also adds in the fact it's like, the longer we're like, she says like, keep in mind, the longer we're here at this colony, the longer you're in potential danger. And I would feel
Odd
bad about
question.
bringing what?
Am I able to run diagnostics to see if the pod is transmitting anything?
Well, I mean, yeah, it has an SOS beacon.
Am I like anything else other than just SOS and then turn it off?
Oh, like is it
That's
transmitting anything other than like, well, what? I mean,
Yes,
Information codes.
like tracking
That's not it.
data, whatever.
well, but yeah, basically like the SOS beacon is essentially a locator. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
if you want to turn that off, you can, but that doesn't guarantee that they haven't already pinpointed where the pod is.
Well,
If they haven't
still, I was
detected
going.
well, no, I mean, I'm saying you can. I'm just warning you that it might be too little, too late.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah, there's
even
no
still,
downside to
just
doing it, so just do
Yeah.
it.
Okay, yeah, you
Yeah.
can do it.
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Just turn it off and then say like, hey, if anything,
Now I will say
we
this:
can
I am
sneak you
going to
out in
make
the
this a
woods.
roll because it's Yutani encryption and all this other stuff, so that's something Danny would have to help with. Um, so I'm going to have her do a roll.
Conrad is good with contact as well. He would love to help with that.
Oh, I mean, if yours is better than hers because she has a total of 9.
I have better.
Oh, you have better than that? Okay, then she'll assist you.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right, so do a comp. Yep. Oh.
Double push on the way.
All right. Okay.
Almost.
The next one.
Oh my God. All right.
Nice.
All right. Well,
There's a reason for this.
you definitely hold on. Let me just double check the context studs.
More information. More information. More information.
For shutting down a beacon, no. Because
Oh yeah.
not,
This is just
Yeah.
shutting down a beacon.
yeah, you're just trying to break the encryption on shutting off the transmitter. Like basically, like it's a completely different system than like Wayland. So, but if you want, you can.
I have something fantastic. I have
What's
something
up?
fantastic. Let me see. I'm going to write something to you, and then I'm going to
Okay.
say publicly what I'm doing.
Okay.
Just a second.
Sure. While he's doing that, is there anything anybody else wants to be doing?
I got nothing.
Does Yutani know how many of them there are?
Most likely yes.
Okay, so this is just for the beacon there. Okay, I'm doing it very quickly, so hoping that if they're monitoring, they won't find. And I hide my tracks. Do I need to, let me see. And I show off. If I can use that to kind of help our compadre here feel a bit safer.
So
that
hold
she's
on.
in
So you said you're hiding your tracks, you're doing it quickly, you're showing off. Those
yeah,
are your stunts?
in a sense. Yeah,
Okay.
in a sense.
You're not going to do the second one?
I don't need to roll to overcome the exact same challenge in the future. When will I need to turn off an SOS beacon?
Yeah, I mean, I understand if you don't want to. I'm just that's usually like the meta.
Yeah, I'm
pick,
good
so.
enough. Yeah, I'm good
Okay.
enough to do that if I need to.
Okay, so you'll just stick with your other stuff. So, I would say, yeah, like so you definitely impress Jennifer, and she thanks you out of sheer gratitude, and says like, well, hopefully that throws them off her tracks. So, but
Let's
in
hope
answer
so.
to your President's question, like, yeah, I mean, if based on what she said, and especially if the escape pod has records of how many people, then they would be expecting 6. They might not necessarily know that one of them died in the crash, but they know that there were a maximum of 6 people.
Can we shift the records to state that there were less people? Is that something that Conrad could do?
The problem is that if they
Potentially.
already knew, there wouldn't be really any point. And if anything, that might they might catch on to the fact that Conrad or whoever it was that was tampering with the records was like actively trying to cover their tracks. So I'm just trying to suggest to you that that might not be a safe course of action to take if you want to try to take a neutral stance.
How many of those like Russian conscript or mercenaries did we kill? And also the guys with Ortega?
Quite a few. That definitely begs the question of what you did with the corpses. If you cremated them or left them to rot or whatever you.
I definitely
Isn't
think
there
we
a
wouldn't have
morgue?
kept them around. It's been months, right?
Yeah.
Like we would have either buried them or cremated them or whatever.
Didn't we give like the dead Russians back to that one
Yes.
group?
Yeah, you
Oh,
gave.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
all
remember
the
we at
Russians
least did
were
that.
all the Russians were
Yeah.
returned to Cherdenko, but as for Carter's like drug dealers, like all of his bodyguards were killed, and it wasn't specified what you did with the bodies. But as Albert said, it has been several months, so.
We could, if we're trying to cover their tracks, we could salvage, anything useful off the shuttle and then just, blow it up and make it look like it actually just crashed and was totally destroyed.
That's
I'm
not
on
a
board
bad
with that.
idea.
I'm completely on board with that. How big of an explosion?
We could do something better. We could try to transport that thing even further away from the colony, and make it look like it exploded and it's dead.
So Danny
well,
does
we
chime in with an idea though, or like a precautionary comment. She does say, "Well, hold on though. You're forgetting that if this thing is designed to home in on the colony, and
Oh
even
yeah.
if you move it away, Terra Nova is probably going to be one of the first places they search."
Yeah.
we
Makes sense.
should
Makes sense.
I have an idea.
maybe
I
we
have an
can turn the
idea.
Well,
beacon
hold on,
back
let's let
on after we
the
move it.
Presidente turn the beacon on after you move it. You're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your suggestion, Albert?
What if we drag the shuttle up, or the lifeboat up into orbit, and then we blow it up using one of our missiles, and we basically say, if anyone from Yutani comes calling, that we thought that we didn't realize it was a lifeboat, we thought it was a danger to us, and so we shot it
Mm.
down.
We've had a lot of security incidents lately. We weren't taking any
Or
Any
we thought it was
chances?
another Seegson attack on us.
Well, I will
Ah.
also note, I hate to be a killjoy, I like that the creativity of that plan, but you have not gotten the missile battery yet.
Son of a bitch.
Hmm.
Does the observer, the ship that we captured, does it have any weapons on it?
No, it's just an unarmed SCV.
Do we
Okay.
have anything with weapons on it?
None of your ships have weapons. Like you don't
Son of
have
a
any like
bitch.
starship grade anti-ship, anti-escape pod weapons.
Can we take it up and like smash it into an asteroid or something?
Yeah, I mean if you want to like
We could crash it into the moon.
yeah,
Yeah, we should do that.
okay.
And then turn the beacon back on.
That conflict with it heading toward Terra Nova still, or
Well, the moon is
to the
close,
colony?
right?
Yeah. Maybe the moon was in orbit at that time.
The
and
moon's
it
always
just...
in orbit. That's
Well,
how
yeah,
moons
but I
work.
mean like at the right point in
It
orbit
was in
where it
position.
intersected
Yeah.
with
you
their
know,
entry
maybe-
path.
exactly.
Moon is catching strays from life pods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about that? We like tow it up to the moon using like maybe our ore shuttle. I assume it can have like heavy lift capacity.
Yeah, I mean
Right,
you
we,
have
tow
like a
this thing up.
massive cargo hangar, so you could probably just fit the
tow
escape
this thing
pod
up.
in it.
Tow this thing up, jettison it like out like high up from the orbit, and send it crashing into the moon so it just gets obliterated.
Okay. So, well, if that's the plan for dealing with the pod, well, I mean, well, is there anything else you're going to do with the pod?
Ortega's mercs, I would say that since we're a colony and we're on the edge of space, we probably don't have to worry about cremating bodies. There's plenty of places to put them. So we probably buried the mercs by that logic. Maybe we could just dig them up and stuff them in that thing, and like, you know, they're definitely like decomposed, right? But I'm thinking, okay, it's like the vacuum of space, so it's going to be kind of hard to tell, you know, too much anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the opposite. Like, I think with the vacuum of space, it would be pretty obvious that they had been dead for a long time, and it would immediately raise suspicions.
You also have to remember, in space, it sucks all the moisture out of you and you boil alive.
Yeah. And
Well,
like,
dead
you wouldn't
bodies can be pretty
decompose.
moist.
You wouldn't decompose in space, right?
Yes. At least in an
So
airless environment.
Yeah. So unless we have some bodies, like people in the colony recently died or something, like
Yeah.
some
Well,
like
I
some
mean, that's
some
possible.
real fresh ones, you know.
We have a population to the point where, you know, it's reasonable enough that maybe a couple people have died in the last couple months. You know, shit happens.
We can check the morgue and see if anyone died recently of natural causes and doesn't have a family member that would care.
Yeah. Or, you know, even unnatural causes. If they got like crushed by a machine or something, you know, that can happen in a escape pod.
Accidents can happen, you know.
Yeah.
This reminds me of that one thing, the article I read one time where a guy, like his mother's body was donated, but then it was bought and blown up by in like a explosion.
A weapons test.
Oh god damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to Google that to get the
Yeah.
specifics later, but
Donated
yeah,
her body to
that's
science and, well,
The science in
scientifically
question,
disassembled.
Lockheed Martin.
Dear God.
Oh shit. Anyway, so so is there anything else you want to do with the pod itself?
Yeah, I guess I'll just mention, like, we already have the guy that died, so, like, his remains would be put up there, so that's one. And then, yeah, if someone else has died recently, we can put them up there and
Okay. I
dress
will
dress him
say,
in one of the Yutani uniforms, you know.
all right. So, and I will say before anything else is done with the pod, that Jennifer actually, like basically goes to like a quote unquote sort of secret compartment of the, like of the basically like under the escape pod that she was in, and actually, recovers the aforementioned long data disk and pockets it. So
Okay. I
Like,
do
she's
have an
We'll need
bit-
to
idea on
review
how to.
that. Yes.
I do have an idea on how to smuggle them out. I don't know if we want to discuss that now, like, or move on to something else.
Well, when we're all in the private part and talking about that.
Yeah, when we're in a private space, like, I can go through my idea on that.
Well, I mean, if there's nothing else you want to do at the pod, then you're free to take Jennifer and her colleagues and then get everybody back at the drop shuttle and fly back to Terra Nova. And then just prepare a ship to go pick up the pod and drop it off on one of the moons.
One thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask that we make sure that none of these rescued people are synthetics, because they mentioned synthetics and I'm suspicious of them.
Well,
yeah, they should
probably
get
like-
a medical check. I mean, they're getting a medical check immediately anyway to see if they're
Yeah,
all
do
like
a quick blood check. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you already see that
Frickin-
one of them is bleeding red, and like, so he obviously is a
Is it-
synthetic, or
is it
not a
his
synthetic,
blood?
rather.
Yeah.
Well,
Is it
I'm
his
gonna have a
blood? Do you
scene
see
like in
the
the
wound?
thing where he's like electrocuting the blood petri dish or whatever.
So, anyway, so yeah, you load up all the. I mean, if I'm understanding you're not doing anything else with the pod, you load everybody up and you fly back to Terra Nova. While you are in flight, are you discussing anything?
No, because there's no privacy.
Well, actually, there is. The drop shuttle, if you remember in Alien Covenant, that thing is large enough to not only have like a landing, like a hangar bay and like a little armory. It also has like rooms. Like there was at least like the one med bay that the Neomorph was born in. There are actually quite a few places to have private conversations on a drop shuttle. They're actually really big.
Okay, so I will have a private conversation with Conrad and Arturo again, and I'll lay
Okay.
out my plan for getting them off the colony. So what I'll say is, we should assume, because the SOS beacon was active, we should assume that a Wayland team will eventually show up here. And so we've already taken care of the shuttle, but we need to plan on how to get these people off the planet safely. What I propose is we have our question. So the ore hauler that is designed to take ore from the plant from our colony back to Wayland HQ, right, or wherever.
Yeah, like and it also doubles like if you have need of a ship to go like pick something up from another colony, then that's what the ore chariot is there for. But I
Okay.
mean, given that it's capable of like towing big stuff and also like hauling a bunch of ore in its cargo bay, like an escape pod is nothing. Like you could absolutely carry the escape shuttle, like the escape pod in the hangar bay and just dump it on the moon or one of the moons rather, whichever one doesn't matter.
Yeah. So what I propose is we can have we have two options, right? We have two ships that we can use. Either we could have the ore hauler make an early departure um, for back for headquarters, and then the added benefit there is that our guests will be conveniently handed over to Wayland for further information gathering purposes, debriefing, and so on. the other thing is, Yutani would likely know that we have an ore carrier, but they wouldn't know that we have the observer, and so we could send the observer off with them, and leave the ore carrier here, and we could, reasonably say, well, you can see our ships in orbit. We haven't had any other recent visits.
And that ship too, is it Seegson registered?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh.
if they see that like coming up on their radar or whatever, and they see, oh well, it's a Seegson ship, then there's no way in hell that could possibly be related, right? Because we have kind of a blood feud with Seegson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
we could
there's
even
no
tell
way
them
that they
like
would help us.
we even could tell them like, yeah, we had. If they ask about the ship, we could be like, yeah, they were screwing around in our solar system, and we had to chase them out. And there's been a diplomatic incident between us and Seegson.
Another thing also that supports the idea of giving them the observer that I would point out that, I mean, it's just kind of like something your characters would know, is that like the ore chariot is company properties, which you don't really have the
and
right
it's kind
to.
of vital to our operations.
That too, whereas the observer was kind of a bonus that you picked up, and therefore it doesn't really cost you anything to give it to them.
Yeah.
That
Speaking
might
out of
be a
character,
good idea.
my idea was send me with it and bring the ship back.
Well, I
That
think
would
either
be very
way,
horrific.
we would not like literally just hand the ship over to them. Like we would have a crew on the ship, fly them somewhere, and then come back. Right? We're not giving them the observer like permanently.
Well, I think that's what they're asking for. That they just
Yeah, they
because
don't want to stick around on Terra Nova, which includes coming back to Terra Nova. They want to.
No, I'm saying we have a crew, take the observer, fly them somewhere, drop them off, come back here.
Okay, but that's going to
But
be
it's
like
not-
a several months trip at best.
yeah,
Sure.
at least. But yeah, we are
But then
literally
we saw the
then.
ship.
But we don't have a crew for at least several months, if not a cycle, and it's not. I mean, I don't know theoretically where we are, but we are not in a super populated area, and the FTL is very slow, so we are like losing a whole ass crew and a ship, and hoping that they come back without these people doing anything strange to them, like maybe
How
they
many?
can.
How many people can the observer fit for FTL cryo?
If memory serves, because it's the same class as the Cronus and Chariot of the Gods and the Cronus, which in turn is the same class as the Prometheus, and both ships have a crew of like 18. It can hold a lot of people.
Okay, so the observer only had 3 people on it when we captured it. So the crew.
Well, no.
people-
It had way many more than just 3. It had all those mercenaries.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
killed most of the mercenaries.
Okay. So I guess our debate is: do we want to sell them the observer or not? I mean, if we can scrounge up just a couple like NPCs or whatever to fly the observer, I would prefer that we get the ship back. Like in game concepts, right? Even if the trip takes months, like that's only like 1 or 2 cycles of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So we would get the observer back. So I don't see that as a problem as long as we have some NPCs we could, do that.
Yeah,
with.
like if you want to use the ship to like basically taxi them to any place else and then fly back, that is absolutely possible. Though it would still take a lot of time, and like during that time, especially because of cryosleep, they would not be able to respond to any transmissions that you send them. They would not be able to answer.
I like the idea of doing that, so then we kind of get the ship back later.
But the problem is we are gambling with a whole crew. So not only a spaceship, but with our additional kind of people who can fly this thing, crew or security or whatever. Because if something goes bad, if these people are not who they say they are, and they say, no, we want to keep the ship, maybe they find a way and kill all of them, and we just lose a crew and a ship.
Then we give our crew
That's the problem.
guns, and
then so we are losing even more crew, even more security, and more guns to a potential thing. If this information is as valuable as they say they are, maybe it can be worth for this ship that wasn't ours to begin with?
Well, let me
Cody,
lay
how
this
much is
out.
this ship worth?
Well, their lives are the most valuable thing we're selling to them.
Yeah, because I think at the time
The
of
data. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
hold on, SCV. So Heliades SCV. If memory serves. So at the time of like no bullshit that a Heliades apparently, like, from what I'm reading right now, like it what cost, like, it earned the Wayland era, it cost nearly $1 billion. Very
Yep.
very expensive ship.
We're fucking we're keeping it.
Something else that I just been thinking about is that if we bring back the ship and if Wayland sends any more people out, how are we going to explain having the Seegson ship in our like spaceport?
I mean,
Because
if
it's
you're
not exactly something we can hide.
well, keep in mind that you got it from a bunch of spies that were trying to infiltrate the colony. So if you explain the situation to Ashby or whoever, then
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's
We could also probably
legitimate
get
salvage.
the registration, like, changed over, and then in the meantime.
Yeah. I think we can explain away having an extra ship. Like,
yeah, well,
we can even tell the
especially
truth.
because here's the thing: is that if Seegson admits, or claims, like, hey, they stole our ship, they are also admitting that like, they know that ship was used in basically an illegal operation.
Yeah.
Okay. That just crossed my mind, and
So
I hadn't thought of it that way, but I just wanted to bring that up.
It's a catch-22 for Seegson.
Yeah.
They're going to be really
They gotta
upset,
cut
but
their
there's
losses.
not anything they can do about it.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think I'm just overthinking, like, what could go wrong if we bring the ship back and have it on
Yeah,
Terra
I mean, I
Nova?
think the most important thing is, like, we need, so, as we're flying back to the colony, we need to verify their details correctly. One, as Conrad said, we don't want to put our crew at risk if these people are criminals of some sort. But we should be able to determine if they're more the scientist types. We put on a suitable crew and get them out of here. We want to get them out of here quickly before any potential Yutani mercenaries show up.
Something I will
just
also
want-
suggest right quick. I mean, because Conrad, I'll let you go in a sec, but just one thing before it slips in mind, if that's fine with you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, and another thing, and I will say to sort of assuage, like, the concerns of, like, will they potentially betray our crew? Because keep in mind, you can always put them into cryo before
Yeah.
before your crew goes under, and then your crew can go under once they've plotted a course. So.
And on that, we can basically say, hey, we're gonna put you in cryo. We're gonna drop you off with Wayland for further debriefing, where you can we'll basically send them to Ashby, right?
Okay.
And we'll be like, give your data to him. Then you'll be free. Like, I guess that's back to Earth or wherever Ashby is. I don't know where he is.
Yeah. Well, wherever he is isn't really, the specifics don't really matter. It's just, as long as that's what your intent is, then that's fine.
Yeah, some other Wayland colony where that is maybe more secure, right? And
I
we'd
mean,
be
at
like,
the very
hey,
least, it definitely throws Yutani off of these people's trail. If, like, first they were at Terra Nova, and then now they don't know where they went. So
yeah, so they give us.
Congratulations, you work for Wayland now.
Yeah, well, hey, that might happen. It's not our problem. So they give us the initial information. We use that to just confirm that, like, the story checks out. Then whenever they get where they're going, then they can give the full information at that point because they know that they're already out of harm's way.
Yep.
You know what would be fucking hilarious? They
Yeah?
end up at, like, I don't know, another more substantial Wayland world, and they're kind of like given new identities, whatever. They're given jobs for the company, and then they get shipped off back to here purely by chance.
I mean, hell, Wayland probably would offer them jobs, like if
Yeah.
they're research scientists or whatever. Like, Wayland is doing all kinds of stuff with synthetics, right? They'd probably
Yeah,
would.
we love doing sketchy shit too.
Hell yeah.
Wait. Are you
I mean, just look at our buddy over here.
Wait, are you suggesting that we try to wipe their identities and hide them here?
No, I'm saying at some other planet.
No.
Yeah.
I'm asking Arturo. Like,
Well, if we send them back to, corporate, and maybe they end up back here. They're clearly very skilled in what they do. That would be. I mean, hell, if we're taking them somewhere, that ship has to come back here anyway.
Uh-huh.
So maybe they're given new identities. It's not like we can't do that. We have a lot of resources, given jobs. Maybe we have a project they could work on locally.
Wait. I haven't. Wait. Since we have periodically shipments of people, why don't we just hide them somewhere in one of the? I think it was mentioned we have a few outposts where the marauders were hiding first. Like we just
Well,
hide them.
Yeah, there was an abandoned outpost that the Marauders were using as their base of operations. But the thing is that, like I said, like the problem is that if you're based on what was being discussed a second ago about like possibly just sort of slipping Jennifer and her crew into one of the ships heading out, the problem is that the ships don't come that regularly. So like even if Yutani
Yeah,
was
they would
like a
be
day
waiting.
away, then you wouldn't have enough time to get them out that way. Like basically your only real option to do it quickly is to give them the observer, or at least like fly them out in the observer.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
we could try hiding them on the planet, I think is what Conrad is saying. And
yeah,
I
in the sense of, uh, I think, yeah, they are afraid, they are paranoid that if this theoretical Yutani mercenary ship comes, that they will be able to see everything and know everything, which is just not the case. I mean, like for us here, the colony, we were not aware of a bunch of things. Somebody visiting will not easily find someone if
Yeah.
we're trying to hide them, number one. And number two, yes, they want to go out as fast as they can. But on the other hand, they can be smuggled off in the next shipment of people, or they can be on the out rotation. They would have to wait. They do not want that, but theoretically, that does exist. And
We
that
could
is
even
all.
put them to work in the scientific department. We have that new lab. We need staff. We could say, hey, your name is now John Science. If
Uh,
anyone asks, that's your name.
we are getting ahead of
Or
ourselves,
Bill
though.
Nye, the
Again,
science guy.
I think what we should determine first is, do we want to send them off the planet or keep them on the planet? And then if we keep them if we send them off the planet, I think we have a plan. If we keep them on the planet, then we can discuss that.
Initially, I was thinking send them off, but I'm sort of
no. I think. Yeah, now that you've said keep them on the science, no. That's, I mean, science and medicine, that's very important. And we do not know where these people are and came from. I'm not sure I could fully trust somebody like this. And again, we shall see why and how they got this information. But if they were able to subvert a company like that, they can do the same to us.
Yes.
what did
If
they tell
they
us
were
why
not
they
I would also be
subverted the
concerned
company
about
in the
security.
first place?
Well, hold on one at a time. What were you saying, El Presidente?
Did they say why they subverted that company in the first place?
Yes. Well, Jennifer said it when she was talking to Albert, and I don't remember if Albert shared that with the rest.
Yeah, I would say what she told me, which is essentially that once they found out that these synthetics were going to be used to like infiltrate governments and stuff, they basically were like, no, we're not cool with
Yeah,
that.
they had a moral objection to that, and they basically stole a bunch of evidence of those plots, and
Yeah,
then
we can't have
what?
anyone here with moral objections.
Conrad was going to, in a more subtle fashion, just look over at Presidente and say, "Oh, so these are moral goody two shoes that turn on anyone they do not find is a moral paradigm."
Not
Okay,
amenable to our
It's a security
position.
risk we can't afford.
There you go.
understood.
That's a much
Understood.
better way of putting it.
I think my character is the only one who still has a conscience about, like, making people work for, forcing people to work for us when they quite clearly don't want to be on this planet. And if we keep them here, we're kind of inviting Yutani to fucking come and mess with us.
So
What's the consequence?
intentionally, when this meeting is only between me, Presidente,
Oh.
and Conrad.
Right. I mean, she could still chime in
okay.
out of character, but
Yes.
Yeah,
I
just
just
out of
want to make that
character.
distinction.
Sorry.
Yes, I just want to make that
I
distinction.
should have specified that.
Good
Sorry, man.
distinction.
Yeah, Conrad at least later probably gonna be the smallest of details, just sharing with Simone here and there, just in talks over with Richard later. But Conrad also wants to mention one thing that does not add up to me in this story. I mean, I understand they lost a person, they are afraid, but if they are so worried that they need to get away so quickly, like, why haven't they already been caught up? If they think they're just on the verge, then that's quite a coincidence. Like, if this was sending an SOS beacon constantly and in space, so not a short transit, but it was in space for weeks, what, we are thinking that they only found out about that later and they are only now on the verge of coming? If they would have intercepted them, they could have easily done it probably on the journey.
well, let me put it this
probably
way.
Space is really big. Ships can't go
Yes.
have speed limits, right? The other Yutani could be tracking them, but several days behind, right? Like
Exactly.
Yutani probably didn't have that team ready to go the minute that they left, right? They probably had to dispatch them from somewhere else, or it took them a few days to get going. So we may have a few days to get that they're tracking us, but not that long.
Because let me put it this way: like, assuming Jennifer and her crew basically sort of boarded an SCV and launched from a station or a planet or whatever, assuming that a Yutani crew was like right on their asses. Think of it like in Spaceballs, the whole ludicrous speed when they had to immediately stop the ship. Like, a ship moving in space is going to have to slow down out of FTL, and then is going to have to turn around, plot a course, and then chase. Like, the ship is probably at least a little bit faster than the not the SCV, the escape pod. But even still, there's just enough, like, hold on, we need a break, and then make a left turn. Just enough time for Yutani to not be like directly catching up to them, but be hot on their heels. And the problem is that Jennifer doesn't know like how quick of a course correction they made. So, I mean, they could be on, like, they're inevitably en route. It's just a question of how like when they're going to arrive, not if.
Right. And I will say offhandedly, wow, it'd be great if we had some sort of deep space surveillance capability to let us know how far out the ship might be.
We'll be working on that, yes, in the future, as soon as we can.
So, just to sum up, are we agreed? We will quickly check out their story today and get them on, round up a crew for the Observer and get them out of here as quickly as possible. Any other concerns?
I mean, I'm concerned about all kinds of things.
Okay. Okay. When we come back to the colony and land, you prepare the interrogation of them, and I won't be too long. I have to. Yes. I'm going to check the security of the ship, that if you all decide to send them on it. I am very worried if they would find a way to subvert the ship.
I think we solve that by they have to go into cryo before the ship departs.
Yeah.
Once they're in cryo, they can't break out.
Yes, that's correct.
they can't. But if pirates can board, maybe if the Yutani ship actually exists here, they could board and take over a ship, etc. A lot of things are
They
possible.
won't have to worry about pirates. I'll make sure of that.
I would. Okay. How? How, if I may ask, our dear Lord, Mr. Presidente? Sidetracking there on a moment.
I'll pass along a message.
Oh, understood. But
Oh, did you just send him a message?
Dear pirates, be cool, bro. Signed, Churro Presidente.
See,
Don't be a fool, be cool. EP.
I know you're making a joke about that, but
Snitches get stitches.
almost.
in the sense of just not touching that thing to let the valuable things move. Understand? Okay, but if a stealth ship comes here and then maybe it's not there. Maybe Seegson is pissed and they send a covert Seegson ship to take it over. Maybe Yutani sends another one. I think
You're not
it
gonna
would
know
be
where it is. Space is really big.
How-
You can't just find ships easily.
And how are you going to board an FTL?
You can board ships. There's boarding available for some
Yes.
fucking reason, but yeah.
In FTL, or do you have to drop out of FTL to do that stuff?
My understanding of it is basically like if another ship is approaching or like hailing you or both, then you decelerate from FTL and wake up. I mean, that's how I've handled it in my previous games.
I just don't know how the FTL mechanics in this universe work in terms of like when you're in FTL, can you have combat? Can you dock with other ships? Like I have no idea.
No, you wouldn't be able to
I think
do that
all
stuff,
the mechanics of the game assume that you're at below FTL speeds for ship to ship interaction.
Yeah,
Are
but
there
I mean,
like tractor beams and shit?
no.
No? Okay.
No.
I mean,
would
there was
just
the thing
advise-
seen in Alien Romulus, if you've seen that movie, right? Like they bring the asteroid in and it has like some stuff that like kind of tractors it, but it's like super short range, so
Yeah,
there's no Star Trek stuff if that's what
and it
you're
would
saying.
and it would probably have to be something smaller than the ship rather than something the same size or larger.
Yeah.
You know, we could argue that there's a way to like interdict faster than light ships by like, I don't know, some kind of like magnetic interference system. Like there's probably a thing for it.
Well, like I
mean,
mean, like
I'm
I did in
just
Steel
thinking, like-
Talons, I did say, and I did say it a second ago that like ships, you know, if you are and like approach vector to another ship that's an FTL, or like you're hailing them, or you set up like a blockade or something, like that will pull a ship out of hyperspace. That's how I handle it, at least in my games, and that would be consistent with Terra Nova as well.
for security reasons, just as a backup of a backup of a backup, I just want to make sure that the ship we're sending them on is only accessible to Wayland employees, just to make sure that to codify that no other access codes can be used by foreign agents. Basically, instead of just letting things normally be used on a bridge or something, that you need to put in a Wayland passcode that we can have.
Okay, though, in game terms, just know that like if I'm going to make you do a CompTech roll for it, but
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
you like that doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's going to be like completely unbreakable, but it does mean that it's going to be opposed against Conrad's thing. So
yeah, nothing is absolute. So he would just go into Mother to make sure, or Apollo, whatever, of the ship to absolutely make sure that it'll be under our control and nobody else's.
all
He
right,
is
do a CompTech
paranoid
roll.
as fuck
And
about
it's
that.
not going to be opposed against Apollo because Richard already broke the security. So
Can I
You're
use
welcome.
thank you. Can I use the a Seegson PDAT for a Seegson diagnostic for that too, since it's a Seegson ship?
because you're not trying to hack it at anything. You're trying to.
Oh yeah.
So no.
Though,
So it's probably just a flat roll.
Just a sec.
Like basically the way you described it was like you were setting up like encryption and like sort of the equivalent of like fingerprint locking it to where it's only meant to be accessible by Wayland access codes and employees. So I guess in this case it's probably just going to be a flat roll, but I mean, again, you can push.
Okay. Let me get my skills up.
I'm gonna need to pop out of here a little bit earlier than usual.
Okay, well we'll be wrapping up. Take the 5 XP.
Alrighty, cool. If there's anything in specific, Cody, you could just send me a DM. I should be able to answer.
Sure. Are you gonna be around later this evening? By the way.
I intend on it, and
Okay.
hopefully will be.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks for showing up, and hopefully you had fun.
Oh
yeah,
my
absolutely.
god!
I'm gonna.
Well,
Oh wait, I gotta have a look at this before I pop out.
He
You
got
create the most secure security system known to man.
6 successes. Do you want to push that and get even more?
Oh, good Google.
For
Just
the
do it.
fun-
Just roll. Just fucking
Yes.
do it again. Just.
I want
throw
to.
up,
I want to see
God.
how many successes I can get on this.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna do the other push.
So 7, 8.
Yep.
God damn.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
Fucking God. All right, I'm gonna pop out now.
All right, see you, Bliss.
Yep.
Yep. So this is the most secure thing. Conrad kind of sighs a bit of relief there that he is certain that nobody else is going to be able to fuck with the ship. So okay,
No
okay,
kidding.
he is.
So
The dice have spoken.
yeah. Anyway, so is there anything anybody else wants to do in the short term, or do you think this is a nice place to wrap up?
I got nothing.
this is a good place to end it.
All right,
I
because as
think.
I understand it, we're going to have there's quite a lot
Yeah.
to address, like namely obviously, if you're going to be questioning Jennifer, then like what sort of question you want to ask her, which again I'm going to need this before next session, and then like what you're going to be putting in your requisition order and any other emails or whatever you guys want to send. So definitely start putting
Makes
some
sense.
thought into that. And then as for XP, again, everybody gets the 5. So, and if you want to spend it now, you can.
Yeah.
Because at this point, everybody's got
Piloting
Oh,
goes
yes.
up what?
Can Conrad take trustworthy?
I mean, do you consider yourself trustworthy at heart?
But he is a person that tries to seem trustworthy.
All right.
Now, do you deem that that's kind
Accurate?
of counterintuitive to him? But he tries to. Maybe that's the point, that he's not good at it, but he tries to.
All right. Well, if he tries, then sure. But you do have to roll for it if nobody else has it.
Absolutely. Does anybody have it?
I don't.
I do.
Yeah. I'll roll.
I'm very trustworthy.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time with you, so I think has your trustworthiness been rubbing off on me? Do you want to
Yes,
share?
clearly, yes.
that?
I will. Yes.
Why, thank you.
All right. So you get trustworthy. Did anybody else
Our-
want to do
our-
anything?
Us trustworthy guys, we gotta stick together. It's a dangerous world out there.
Maniacal evil laughs.
Everybody.
Both too
I mean, we
trustworthy.
gotta stick together. It's like everybody else can't be trusted.
The right path is a wildcatter talent, right?
Is it? Hold on, let me see. Oops. Worlds player
Like
guide.
it's under the career, but it's saying it as a homebrew.
Oh,
Because I
that's
know the career ones are like
formatted fucking
funky.
incorrectly. Yeah, hold on. See, making frontier colonists. Wildcat. Yes, the right path is a wildcatter talent. It's the one where you get
Okay.
+2 to all piloting rolls when driving a ground or submersible vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, will that ever come up in this campaign to drive a ground vehicle or submersible on this planet?
Potentially. I mean, I can't
And I mean,
necessarily
if
saw it.
anything, you have me.
Yeah, Richard. I mean, Richard was flying a drop shuttle, and so I mean, I personally wouldn't recommend it because I don't. I mean, I don't remember. Other than Richard flying the drop shuttle, I don't remember the last time a ground vehicle's ever been driven.
Okay.
When
Yeah,
we
'cause
had to go out for the
I-
APC.
Yeah, because piloting is also one of my career talents. So if you ever need another pilot, because I have
Mhm.
a pool of 6
Now, I will say
currently.
this: if you want
anything
to
into it.
take what the fuck is it from the pilot career? I think it's like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
That I would say you could learn that if you want, because that seems like a similar enough talent.
hmm
Because like the back of your hand is basically, choose one vehicle or spacecraft, not one type, but a single specific craft. You get a +2 modification to piloting with the chosen vehicle. You can choose this talent several times, one for each vehicle.
Yep.
But again, though, with Richard as a pilot, I mean, it depends on, if we would ever need 2 pilots.
I will
Um,
follow up with you
yeah,
in
I'll,
text chat about other stuff, about
Oh.
the plans and other stuff. Okay.
All right, sounds good. If you need to get going, feel free.
yeah, I'll
Bye.
just keep that at the back
See
of
you,
my
Magus.
mind for the time being, in case it ever. I won't pick it up now because it doesn't seem that useful.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna bump up my observation.
All right.
4 points in it. So I have a pool of 8.
Nice. I have a pool of 11 in piloting
That
now.
helps not only when I'm prospecting, but also observation is the the colony. That's the role I make for the colony.
Yep.
Advancement stuff. So better.
Yep.
2 bonuses.
Well, other than that, how was the session?
I had fun.
This was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
This was intense, and I need to go, but I'll follow up with you later.
All right.
So
I'll be
see
around
y'all
all day,
next
pretty
week.
much. So yeah, see you next week.